Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. And boy, oh boy, there's never a shortage of things to talk about in this second term of Trump. Really, there hasn't been a shortage of things to talk about for over a decade since the president came down the escalator. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Irony Rose just became a member on the channel. Welcome. This government shutdown is such a beautiful thing and is so important to the Make America Great Again agenda. I want to talk about that. And then yesterday, and I want to throw this out to you because this is something I just don't understand with these liberals. So Trump post on True Social, and I'll go over this later, but I'll just throw it out there now. I'll show the post later. President Trump throws out there, let me see if I can find it now, that he's going to be meeting with this vote guy of Project 2025 fame. And the liberals just start having freakouts. Here's the post on True Social. And this just, the news cycle, everything just went nuts. President Trump posted on True Social yesterday morning, I have a meeting today with Russ Vogt, although I thought it was Voigt, but it's Vogt. I have a meeting today with Russ Vogt, he of Project 2025 fame, to determine which of the many Democratic agencies, most of which are a political scam, he recommends to be cut, and whether or not those cuts will be temporary or permanent. I can't believe this radical left Democrats gave me this unprecedented opportunity. They are not stupid people, so maybe this is their way of wanting to quietly and quickly make America great again. President DJT. That was yesterday morning, 1 minute before 8 a.m. And this is what I don't get with the Democrats. First time I think any of us, unless you're some Heritage Foundation fellow or something, the first time any of us heard of Project 2025 was probably from some Democrat somewhere. When you say Project 2025, those are a triggering couple of words, although the 2025 isn't a word, it's a number, but you know what I mean. What about just saying Project 2025 triggers these never-Trumpers, the fake news media, liberals and Democrats so much? I just don't get it. Do you? And it's a funny thing when you watch liberals and their fake news media and all of that speak. I remember this during the campaign last year. They just freak out over the thought of Project 2025. In fact, it's one of the most triggering things you can say to a Democrat, Project 2025. Why does that bother them so much? I have no idea. Now, there are a couple things here about Project 2025. I am behind on my coffee, guys, so you just got to bear with me as I catch up on my coffee. This thing with the Project 2025 and meeting with Russ Vogt, as he did yesterday. The government shutdown, President Trump talked about this in this post yesterday, but I want to get a little deeper into the discussion about it because it's a cool thing. Firing all these people. When we talk about the problems with the swamp, we typically talk about people in Congress, the donors, and of course, the villains of the deep state. But really, maybe even more than all of them, the biggest problem with the swamp may not be the deep state or the Congress, and it's the bureaucracy, the employees of the federal government that make up the bureaucracy of the federal government in D.C. They are really, quite possibly, and I think a good argument could be made, are the biggest problem of all. And the reason is because when orders are given, no matter who gives them, whether it's the president, a cabinet secretary, or laws are passed by the Republican-controlled Congress, or a Supreme Court ruling comes in, the bureaucracy of the federal government, in most of these instances, have to put everything into action. And they don't. They drag their feet. In fact, I remember at the beginning of this second term of President Trump, it was one of the first couple, it might have been the first one, but it was one of the first couple of executive order signing events in the Oval Office with President Trump here in the second term. And he made a big deal to talk about at the time. I remember, you guys may remember this. I just can't remember which one it was. But he had made sure they'd put something in place that the orders were going to be carried out. And he made a reference that in his first term, they didn't carry out his orders. And the bureaucracy, the federal workers, they just didn't do it. They got the orders, it was signed, they were delivered, and then they didn't do it. And the one I remember, which doesn't seem the most important, but I'm sure there were others, but in the first term, President Trump ordered the Kennedy files released, and then they didn't do it. You know, there were a bunch of things like that. So these federal workers that are incredibly arrogant, you know, the federal workforce in D.C., I'm not talking about your local federal worker, the ones in D.C., they believe that they are better Americans than the rest of us, that they're a higher form of American, that they have answered President Kennedy's call to public service, and they're very full of themselves. And they believe that it is their country, not ours. And these firings, or that they're, you know, these furloughs are going to turn into like permanent layoffs in many instances. I don't think the president and Russ Vought are just randomly doing that. I think these are very targeted towards agencies, groups, maybe even individuals who slow walk everything in the bureaucracy and undermine the president and the rest of the government all the time because they think they know what's best. And they're like, what are you going to do? I'm a federal worker. I'm going to be here forever. So this government shutdown may end up being the largest swamp draining event ever. And I don't think people realize that too much. I know people are talking about how he could end up firing people. You know, 1/3 of the White House staff is being laid off during the shutdown. 154,000 federal workers have been fired already, fired permanently. But I think this very well could be the biggest, most effective part of the swamp draining that we've seen yet. And we may not know it because President Trump, you know, he's keeping his cards close to his vest in this second term. He doesn't go out and tell us everything that he's doing or done because he's got a lot of things going on and he doesn't want to tip off the bad guys as to what he's doing. But that's what I think is going on. Now, today is Friday. And on Friday's show, it is open phones on the program, but I have to turn the phones on first. So hold on a sec. I told you I was behind on my coffee. Hold on, I got to make sure. I just turned the phones on. Got to do a thing here. Okay, good. I did not turn the phones on. I have them. I thought I forgot something. You know why? It's because I was at the radio station yesterday. So I have them turned on at the radio station. So we're live, people. I'm going to actually turn the phones on here live on my cell phone. I can do it here. It's amazing that we've got these computers in our pockets. I'm glad I just realized that. I've gone through, I did almost a whole show once. And I'd forgotten to turn the phones on. Yeah, I get so wrapped up in what I'm doing, you know. I'm a one-man band. Okay, hold on. It takes a minute. Okay. Okay, let me check now. Hold on. Hold on. Make sure I got the phones on. Okay, now they're on. Okay, so if you were calling, they are on now. Today is Friday, which is open phones on the program. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. And on Open MAGA Mike Friday, you can call in about any and everything on your mind. You don't have to talk about anything I bring up. In fact, when you call in, you don't even have to comment on the stories and topics I bring up. You can call in about any and everything on your mind on Friday's show. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday, but you don't have to be MAGA to call in, all right? The number is pinned in the live chat. It's toll-free no matter where you're watching. 888-465-2631. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
You know, Hey, I'm doing fine. That post you just showed from President Trump, that entire post to a Democrat and to these people is a triggering thing.
Yeah, when you the idea when you say Project 2025 or President Trump especially, you say that to a liberal, it's like holding a cross up in front of a vampire. I don't know what it is about Project 2025, but it really freaks them out, Mike.
I don't know. I don't know either, and that's the thing. I mean, it's not just a triggering thing. President Trump knows. We know this from his first term. He knows how to use social media, and these things. Not just this, but the memes that he's put up recently are basically him trolling these people.
That's right.
He's an excellent troll.
Oh yeah, and meeting with Russ Vogt. I mean, he's the director of the Office of Management and Budget, and this is a budget thing going on. Of course, he meets with him and is going to meet with him. But when he put the post out, President Trump put Project 2025 in there to trigger them, and he set off a whole news cycle with it.
Right, and think about this. What's his name? Schumer gave Trump exactly what he wanted.
That's right.
By activating this Schumer shutdown, Trump wanted that, and he got it.
Yep, he sure did. All right, Mike, take care. Good to hear from you. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Whiting, Indiana.
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand yet. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Frank from Whitey, Indiana.
Whitey, Indiana? Like Whitey, like white person?
No, it's Whiting.
Whiting. Oh, okay. Well, okay.
It's next to Gary, Indiana.
Okay, all right. Go ahead. What's on your mind?
Okay. I don't want you to take offense because I love your show.
Oh, here we go.
I love Trump.
Yes, we're going to start the day off right here. All right.
No, it's not going to be bad. But you play this recording from Frank about Laporta roofing, and you can tell the guy's reading from a script.
So what?
Better guy.
So what? He's a random. Okay, he's a. You're talking about Frank. You know the listener. He's not a. He's not a professional, broadcaster. He's a customer. He got a new roof, and what am I going to do? I think he does a fine job, and he wanted to make sure he got it right.
Right, but the wording he uses is not wording a normal person would use when they call in. The homeowner, which is me. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, he wrote. It's not ridiculous. It's a very good testimonial, and I give him credit for doing it. He's a good guy.
Okay, listen. I was just telling you what I thought. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's all right. Yeah, it doesn't mean that we have to agree.
Right. Okay.
All right.
God bless you.
All right. All right. I mean, out of all things to take issue with me for, I mean, my goodness. This is the only show anywhere where we have our listeners do commercials. I think his commercials are really good for Laporta Roofing. Maybe I'll play it in a bit. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah. Good morning. This is Richie.
Hey, Richie.
I want to talk just about what you just were saying real quick. That these layoffs with this shutdown, these layoffs that are coming, they're going to try to make Republicans look like the boogeyman. But I got to tell you something. But Brian, for a long time, has been on the radio trying to show people the incest that's inside Washington, D.C., that when you deep dive into everything, you'll find a cousin of a cousin of a brother of a sister of a friend of a friend of a friend, and they all have these high-paying jobs, and these jobs are not like regular, like a job at a radio station where they hire somebody because they need expertise. These are jobs, payoff jobs for campaigns.
They're jobs you don't have to show up to.
Yeah, you got to. My brother, I'm going to give you an example. My brother may rest in peace. Used to work. It was in New York, Okay, he got a job through somebody in the family, helped somebody get elected. He ended up working at Yonkers Racetrack, okay, at nighttime. And all he did, and he got big money for it, all he did was he watched at the end of a couple of races a night, and he worked all night long for this. He watched it while the veterinarian would take a blood sample out of one of the horses that won the race or finished first, second, or third, and a urine sample, and put a New York State seal.
Now, hold on, Richie. Let me answer these lines while you're talking. Okay. All right. Yeah. Go ahead. And and he did what?
Yeah.
With the seal, and then what?
He sealed. Yeah. The horse would urinate. They take the hay underneath the horse and they ruffle the hay. But I never saw this. And they had a long stick with a cup. The horse would urinate and they put it into a vial and put it. And he put the New York State seal over it and put it in the refrigerator. He watched them do it. He got big money for that. It was a political job.
Yeah.
They were all over Washington like this.
PM.
There are jobs that there are jobs.
Well, what they do is they buy off the members of Congress with these fake jobs for their daughter-in-laws, son-in-laws, cousins, brothers,
fake
sisters.
Jobs.
Yeah, and they're fake jobs. Yeah, they're fake jobs, and that's how they buy off the members of Congress.
And yeah, people like you, me. I mean, we don't have any. You know, I know that you said yesterday your wife does the bills. Well, your wife knows everything coming in and everything going out in your house.
Yes,
she's watching everything. Now, you assume that she's going to be 100% honest with you, which she is. But the government, we can't assume that with the government.
No,
we don't know. We know what we're sending in there when we get taxed.
No.
But we don't know what we're getting coming out.
See, that's why a lot of times someone like people say, well, why doesn't Schumer just retire? He's got $80 million. Because he's got a whole bunch of people in his family that have government jobs all over the place. Like, remember his brother was involved in that Bragg thing, and he's got relatives that have all these jobs that they have just because of his position. And it's not just him retiring; his family will lose their jobs, right?
But the media tries to make it look like we're taking away jobs from and we're starving families. I mean, this is totally ridiculous. I know that the military, they're not paying them, but this is not the Republican fault here.
A lot of times what I do, if I don't do this as much as I used to, but I used to do this a lot. If I was watching pundits, I'd Google them and find out you'd find out all kinds of things. Like, if there's a retired military person, a lieutenant colonel, an admiral, a general, whatever, typically they work for some big military industrial company. I couldn't believe this was about 2 years ago. I was watching CNN. They had a new lady pundit on. She's a great granddaughter of President McKinley. You know, they have this whole, they have this whole ruling class that we're just not privy to. And one of the reasons they hate Trump so much is he's not a part of that special class, and he broke into it and tore down what they're doing.
They have so many added non-necessary jobs that are not necessary. I mean, it's not even a job; it's just a baloney thing. Like you said, half of them don't even leave their house.
That's true. That's true.
They got a computer.
Michelle Obama had one of those jobs in Chicago. She had a fake job. This is when Obama was like in the state government. I don't know if it continued when he was in the Senate, but she had this job with the hospital district in Chicago, and her boss was Valerie Jarrett. You really think she went to work every day and did work?
Not at all.
No, they're all fake jobs.
And the friends and maybe their kids. Their kids.
I don't like to think about it too much because it's depressing. Because I work my butt off. Do you know this month I get a report from YouTube every month on everything. It's so detailed. Yeah. You know how many live streams I did this last month?
You work all the time.
I mean, how many do you? I did this. Hold on, I got to drink my coffee. Hold on.
I get alerts on my phone from you on a regular basis.
Yeah, I did. It's like, this last month. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. I'm choking. I did 119 live streams last month. I just got the report this morning. 119. You know, I'm like, what? I didn't realize. Can you imagine? So I'm doing like 3, 4, sometimes 5 a day. You know, and then these people have these fake jobs. You know, I'm busting my ass, and you busted yours. And these people have these fake jobs where they get paid these huge amounts of money.
Brian, let me tell you something real quick. I'm not saying about me. When I got the bus driver job, you know what it used to go through my mind? Because I had a job before that working for the city of Hollywood, okay? And I used to see the city trucks parked on Johnson Street over there behind, it was actually behind a Big Daddy's on Johnson Street by I-95. Every day at 2 o'clock, you'd see all the Hollywood trucks back there, and they'd be drinking beer. Then they drive back and punch out at 4 o'clock.
Well, anyway, we're digressing a little bit here. I know it's open phones today, but maybe you have an answer. You know, when President Trump put this post out about meeting with Vote from Project 2025, what is it about Project 2025 that triggers these Democrats so much? They're having meltdowns and freakouts.
I think it was a list of all the baloney jobs that they could cut, and all the programs they could cut. And the Democrats are with these programs. These are not programs; these are political.
That's right. All right, Richie. Appreciate the call. If you want to call in here in the early hours, it's 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Live from Texas.
Hey, Texas. What's on your mind?
Hey, good morning. Hey, look, I was listening to your show for a little bit this morning, and you was talking about the shutdown and all that. I'm sure they got some workers in Washington, D.C. don't need to have their jobs, but there's a lot of people need to have their jobs. And I don't think y'all should be gloating about people getting fired from their jobs.
That's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing.
Yeah,
no. I remember, during the shutdown period when a lot of people were forced to stay home, they had this category of what was it? Not necessary, but there was a category of people that could violate all the curfews and everything during the shutdown and lockdown. And I'm one of them because I'm in media, and it was a necessary job, a vital job. What was the term they used? Somebody in the chat room, remember? I've kind of blocked out 2020. Essential workers and non-essential workers. And I said at the time, there's no such thing as non-essential and essential. Everyone's job is essential to them, no matter. I don't care if they're a stripper, because that's how they feed themselves and support their family. And I thought that was such a terrible thing. You're non-essential. You're essential. But here's the problem with the federal government. Okay, the federal government workforce is not only incredibly huge. They screw us over nonstop in the bureaucracy, slowing down, refusing to follow Trump's executive orders, according to him, in his first term. And they're very spoiled and bloated, and they're corrupt. And it's got to go. The federal government's way too big.
I understand all that, and there is problems with the federal government. But I don't think what he's doing is just... I don't think what he's doing. It's like when they laid off a whole lot of people. They had to hire a lot of those people back. So you need to go in there, be strategic with it. And you see, I don't know, Brian. It's just craziness and getting tired of it. I'm getting tired of it. It's getting old.
I don't. Listen, the government has not been shut down by President Trump. It's been shut down by the Democrats because they want to give health care coverage to illegals.
No, Brian, you know that's not true. And I'm
let me explain. Let me explain to you without being hold on a second. Without being argumentative, I'm going to tell you why it's the Democrats' fault. Okay? Okay. Do you know why it is not passed, the budget? Why the budget didn't pass in the Senate?
Why didn't it?
Okay. We have a slim vote majority. But the Senate is not, when things like this are voted on in the Senate, you don't pass them by a simple majority of 51. You have to have a 60-vote majority to pass a budget or a continuing resolution. You have to have a 60-vote majority. We don't have enough senators. We need Democrats to join us to get that 60 votes. And Schumer won't let them. So our guys all are voting yes. The Democrats, they couldn't even get a couple guys to vote with us. So the Democrats shut it down. We don't have the votes in the Senate because you have to have 60 votes.
You know what, Brian? I think right now it's like the Democrats and Republicans. I think they all need to come together and just work this out because it's getting old, bro. I'm real honest with you, it's just getting old. We need to just come together and work this country out. And just be, we're a great country, we're a great, fantastic
but Democrats don't think so.
They do, Brian. And I think the problem is...
You're not the average Democrat.
Yeah, I think they are. I think we are. We just need to really come together and work this out. It's Republicans, Democrats.
Let me ask you this. Tell me the number one reason that makes you a Democrat. Why are you a Democrat? The top reason.
Because I'm a Democrat, and I'm not going.
You don't have a reason why? You don't have a reason why?
I have several reasons. I have a reason because they're for the working man. You know what, Brian?
The working man.
I'm starting.
Yeah, the working man. The Democrats, excuse me, the Democrats voted against the big beautiful bill that had no tax on tips. And no tax on overtime. How can you say the Democrats are for the working man?
You know what, Brian? That doesn't work.
It's true.
No tax on overtime. You know what, Brian? I'm getting to the point now to where I'm not even a Democrat. I'm not even a Republican.
No, now you're not a Democrat. Okay, you're disavowing the Democrats now.
Let me say this. I'm trying to get.
You just said you were a Democrat. Now you're disavowing them.
I am a Democrat, but I'm getting tired of it all. I'm getting tired of Democrats, Republicans, and the companies because nobody doesn't know how to work together anymore. We got Trump in the White House. He doesn't want to sit down and talk to anybody. And
sure, he sat down and he had Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries in there. He talked to them, and they told him to kiss their butts.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
They were there. Yes, they were there Monday afternoon. They were there in the Oval Office with the president. He threw those Trump 2028 hats on the desk. They were there in the Oval Office on Monday afternoon.
And you see that, like I said, they could have worked something out. He doesn't want to because he wants to shut down.
All right.
And that's all.
Hey, listen. All right, appreciate the call. I'll put you out of your misery. You know, he doesn't even know why he's a Democrat. You know why he's a Democrat? It's a bad habit. It's a bad habit. That's what it is. That's why he's a Democrat. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Kyle. I'm calling from Arizona.
Hey, Arizona. What's on your mind? Yes, you called me.
All right, so I'm just calling. I saw you're a Republican.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm calling as a centralist.
A centralist? What is that?
Yes, sir. I'm a centralist, so I don't choose a Democrat or Republican. I'm somewhere right in the middle.
Yeah. Okay.
So reasonings for this is because I've discovered a lot of truths. I've done a lot of digging. Now, a little bit about me. I'm 18 years old, right? I used to be Republican, MAGA, Trump, right? You know, I couldn't wait to vote for him again back in 2028. I was really, really hyped, really excited to do it. Okay. And I started digging. I started doing a little bit of knowledge. And I realized, you know,
what'd you find?
There's no point in even voting.
What'd you find?
I mean,
what'd you dig up? When you're digging, what'd you dig up, 18-year-old? Yes.
Well, yeah, I dug up is that, you know, Republican and Democrat are both two sides of the same flipped coin. You support Israel by chance?
Well, of course. Oh, you hate Jews. I mean, you're anti-Semitic. You hate Jews.
No, I don't hate Jews at all. I have no.
Well, then why would you ask such a stupid question? What are you calling me from Munich in 1933 here? I mean, what the heck kind of question is that?
Sir.
What a crazy question.
Respectful conversation for you. I mean, the least you can do for me is listen to my side.
Now, I'm surprised you didn't ask me if I am a Jew.
I mean, that doesn't really matter, does it? Because I'm not after Jews. I mean, I have many Jewish friends. So I feel like that's just irrelevant.
Yeah. I know. Many Jewish friends.
Even then with Israel and Jews, they're not the same thing. I mean,
they're not the same thing?
I mean, that's what my Jewish friends
are not. How are Jews and Israel not the same thing? It's the Jewish state. It's the land of Israel was given to the Jews by God. Oh, my. Are you really 18?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
so
see that. Let me explain this to you. Let me explain this to you. Okay.
Okay.
And you since you're so well researched and versed and informed at the age of 18, your brain has not finished developing and will not finish developing for 7 years.
So that discredits everything I've said.
You don't know what you don't know or understand the things that you're talking about.
That's crazy. So just because that...
Well, you do know that your brain is still developing. like a baby in the womb, right? I mean, you are aware that your brain is not done developing. So you have an undeveloped brain. Your brain is undeveloped.
So it makes me stupid or like...
No, it doesn't make you stupid. When I was 18, I had an undeveloped brain too. Everyone does, but your brain just doesn't work as well as a grown-up's brain. So you don't know or understand or have the ability to understand the way of the world yet.
The way of the world. So because I'm 18, that means I'm automatically, I don't know. Like,
it's not about your age. It's just about simple, the way the body works. Your brain is not fully developed. You are incapable of. You don't think like an adult. You still have the brain of a child. I know you don't feel like it. You're 18, so you can vote and do all this stuff. But you have the brain of a child still. Your brain is not an adult.
So I have a brain of a child.
Correct.
But everything okay.
When you're 25, your brain is fully developed.
Right. Yeah, I know that.
Well, so your brain is not fully developed. So your undeveloped brain has all these opinions.
Not fully developed, I should support Israel. Can you give me some reasons why I should support Israel and why they are God's chosen people?
Well, why they are God's chosen people is because God chose them. I can't give you the reasons why God chose them, but God chose them and also chose to give us Jesus through them. He sent us Jesus through the Jews as well.
That is true. Well, can I
Christianity? Are you a Christian?
Yes, sir, I am.
Do you accept? Do you accept Jesus as your Savior?
I do.
Well, then you're a Jew. Christianity is completed Judaism. You are a Jew. Yeah. Christianity is Judaism.
Sir, I disagree, though.
Well, because your brain's still developing. You have an undeveloped brain. You don't understand what I'm telling you. But you are a Jew.
My brain's just developed?
Yes.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, when you grow up, this will all make sense. When your brain finishes developing like a fetus in the womb, you'll understand. Christianity is Judaism. Jesus is the Jewish Messiah. In fact, in the early church, you didn't become a Christian. The Gentiles, non-Jews, had to convert to Judaism to become a follower of Jesus. Christianity is Judaism. All of us Christians are Jews.
Okay, so I disagree with you, and here's why I'm going to explain why. So, back in the day, how Judas, kind of snitched on Jesus, and the Jews were calling for his literal death, right? And let me tell you something. So back when, the Romans killed Jesus, the Jews begged for his death,
all of the apostles were Jews. No, all of the apostles were Jews.
You're not going to let me finish?
Jesus is a Jew, and the apostles are. Now I'm going to move on. I appreciate the call, though. Thanks so much. Oh, my goodness. I don't like to do what Ben Shapiro does, debate children and then tell myself I'm such a great debater. I'm beating up children. Well, if you're debating people whose brains have not fully developed, you might win if you're a grown-up. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Brett from Indiana.
Hey, Indiana. What's on your mind?
Nothing much. Did you hear about that fire from the Chevron refinery?
No.
Yeah, there's a California fire going on right now. It's started about 5 hours ago.
Okay.
Pretty big deal.
Really? Well, I'm sure it's a big deal if you're out there. I mean, was it started by Antifa or something?
Who knows at this point?
So, okay. So when you're doing I just give you some behind the scenes. When you're doing a talk show, okay, for a story, you just can't say there's a fire. Oh, it's it's a big. There has to be what we call in the biz a hook, right? Like if Antifa did it or something, then we'd have something to talk about. But we don't. There's a fire. So how do you have a discussion? Hold on. How do you have a discussion on that?
They still haven't refilled the reservoirs that Trump demanded they refill.
Okay.
So
if you're doing a talk show, there's a fire. Call me. There's nothing to talk about with that. We're all opposed to fires and hope they get it out without hurting someone. All right, appreciate the call. All right. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Peter from Minnesota.
Hey, Minnesota. What's on your mind?
So I saw that guy you were debating earlier. I thought he was a little bit anti-Semitic starting out with that Jewish shit I saw.
Yes.
I thought it was pretty crazy, and I think you're pretty wrecked in there. But I was surprised you didn't let him finish and what he was going to say.
I had him on for like 5 minutes or so. I was done. I moved on.
That's true, but I mean, I feel like he had a lot to say. I mean, we kind of listened to him at least.
No, we don't. Right? Listen. This is a show, right? It's a program, and part of it, we talk about the news and the issues of the day, and it's very informative, and it is, and this program is a trusted news source, no doubt. However, I can't bore people to death, and a conversation gets to a certain point, and you got to move on.
Right, but I feel like there was a lot to say, and you could have debated, you could have went back.
Oh, I don't.
I'm seeing a lot of comments. They're saying you're a coward.
Huh?
I mean, that's I don't think you're a coward, but I mean, you could have at least.
Are you gonna call me a chicken? What am I, Marty McFly in Back to the Future? You're gonna call me a chicken, and I'm supposed to freak out? Oh my God, get him back! Don't call me a chicken. Remember Marty McFly and his dad? You call him a chicken. If I were a coward or a chicken. Would I take screenless live calls every day?
No, man. That's not what I'm saying. I respect you. I respect you a lot. I feel like you've got the balls to come up here. You've got the balls to speak your mind, and that's rare.
That conversation with that child with the undeveloped brain had run its course. It was no longer anything after that would be uninteresting. I do enjoy people to call. I want people to call that give me grief, and that's awesome. But I'm not asking you to call in to be the co-host of the program and continue through the whole morning. Every call must end, like this one soon. I mean, come on. I mean, how long do I keep the guy on? The point was made.
I guess that's true. But I mean, you didn't really listen to him. And
I listen. No, you think that. You think that.
Jews killed Jesus.
I listen.
Lost the promise,
I listen. Oh, you don't like Jews? Okay, I get it. You bond with him over your dislike of Israel.
Not what I'm saying. You're not listening. You're not listening.
I listen so carefully to every person that calls. I wear headphones, right? You see me wearing headphones all the time.
How about you
I don't have to wear headphones, but I do so I can hear you.
You didn't let him talk.
No, this conversation is played out too. All right, I got to run anyway. We're switching over to the radio station, but I appreciate the call. Oh my goodness. We're going to be switching over soon, so if you're on hold, stand by, and the next calls I take will be on the air. I got a couple things here. I'd like to tell you guys that if you would like to continue to support the program, go to mypillow.com. Use my promo code Kane at checkout for huge savings site-wide, and the free shipping offer is still in effect. You can use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, on all the specials there. And remember, guys, Mike Lindell is supporting the expansion of the show. I'm coming on so early and everything, and staying late after, doing my afternoon program, as well as my weekend shows and my it's all being sponsored by Mike Lindell at MyPillow. So please go to mypillow.com and load up with the promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. Get some great products, great discounts, free shipping, and let Mike Lindell know that his support of my content is money well spent, okay? Because we're just finishing his first month of sponsorship for the expansion. He's been with us for a long time, but now he's supporting the expansion of the program. So you guys need to let him know that the expansion is worth it, okay? And I appreciate that. Promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to be live in about 2 minutes. Hold on, I got to get my commercial copy ready for the next hour. Hold on. Let's see here. Okay, that one. And what else do I have to do? Okay, yes. That one. I'm just getting ready here for the next hour. we go. All right. Okay, now we're ready to go. Yeah, and that's greatly appreciated, by the way, your guys' support. If you're on hold, hang in there. I'll take these calls when we get back from the break. All right. If you're new, make sure that you subscribe. The radio stations, we're doing the switchover now, and I don't take calls when we're doing the switchover to the radio station just in case somebody says something and they click us on by mistake. Not that that's happened, but I don't want to take the chance. Because when Mike, the board op, he's got a lot going on when we're doing the switchover. But if you're on hold, hang in there. We will go to the phones when we get back. And it is open phones on Friday. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. On Friday's show, you can call in about any and everything on your mind. You don't have to talk about anything that I bring up. Although I would like, we'll be on in a minute. I would like to know why Project 2025 is so triggering to you guys. If somebody could explain that to me, because I just don't get why liberals are so upset by Project 2025, but they most definitely are. Okay, we got about 40 seconds and we'll be live. I have to do an open, and then we'll take your calls. If you want to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat. Oh, boy, oh, boy. All right, 20 seconds. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Oh, man, we've got a lot to cover today. Callers on hold, stand by. And, of course, today is Friday already, October 3rd. I can't believe it. I'm excited. This is one of my favorite months of the year because later this month, I'm going with my daughter and a friend of hers to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Orlando, and we do that most every year. We missed it last year because she was living in California still, but I love... Oh, no, we had a hurricane. I know we had reservations. I remember we had reservations for Halloween Horror Nights last year. We had a hurricane right before, and it was all flooded out, so we didn't get to go. But we're going this year, and I love Halloween Horror Nights. If you have never been to Halloween Horror Nights, you have got to go. It is... really fun. It's like a completely immersive experience. All right, we've got a lot to cover now. Today is Open Phones, Open MAGA Mike Friday. On today's show, you can call in about any and everything on your mind. You don't even have to comment on the topics I bring up, but I do have some things I want to share with you. And if you're just tuning in, welcome. The number is toll-free 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. A toll-free call no matter where you're listening. Okay. So yesterday, President Trump turned the liberal media and the Democrats upside down. He posted on True Social this. I have a meeting today. This was yesterday. I have a meeting today with Russ Vought, he of Project 2025 fame, to determine which of the many Democratic agencies, or Democrat agencies, I should say, most of which are a political scam, he recommends to be cut, and whether or not those cuts will be temporary or permanent. I can't believe the radical left Democrats gave me this unprecedented opportunity. They are not stupid people, so maybe this is their way of wanting to quietly and quickly make America great again. Signed, President DJT. All right. So I want to talk about this for a moment. And, this firing that he is going to be doing of federal workers, because these furloughs are going to turn into layoffs, which are permanent for a lot of them. They've been telling us this, and the president's been telling us this. When we talk about the swamp, we often talk about the deep state and a few other things. But what gets left off of that is the federal bureaucracy workforce. These people are monsters. And they are the ones that have to carry out all the orders and directives of the president and the agencies under him. And they slow walk them or don't even do them. And they're very arrogant. And it's very difficult, or at least they've told us it's difficult, to fire federal workers. And President Trump is meeting with Russ Vought. I thought that it looks to me like Voight. Doesn't it look like Voight to you? V-O-U-G-H-T? How does John Voight spell Voight? I don't know, but it's Vought. That's fine with me. I don't care. How you pronounce his name, but they say it's Russ Vought, so I'm going to go with that. There's no I. Oh, John Voight has an I in there. If you have an I after the U, it's Voight. Okay, whatever. You know who I'm talking about. Russ Vought of Project 2025 fame. I believe these are going to be a lot of targeted layoffs to get rid of some of those bureaucrats that are sabotaging the Trump agenda. And I'm fine with that. It's got to be done. It's got to be done, And they really should start selling off some of those empty buildings in D.C. They really don't need them, right? They could just tear them down, turn them into parks or museums or something. But the federal workforce is too big, too out of control, too arrogant, and they sabotage our nation constantly. And this is a great opportunity. But here's a question. I've been on the air actually for almost an hour because I start the show early before the radio show starts online, and I haven't got an answer to this question. Although I've gotten calls from liberals, none of them have given me an answer. Project 2025 triggers liberals like no one's business. The media were having complete meltdowns yesterday. What is it about Project 2025 and just the thought of it freaks them out so much? The way I would describe it is saying Project 2025 to a liberal or a never-Trumper is like holding a cross up in front of a vampire. They freak out. They completely freak out. I don't understand that. So if you have an answer to that, I'm curious. If you're a Democrat, a liberal, what is it about Project 2025 that's so triggering to you people? Okay, now I also want to mention something else. And if you're on hold, stand by. We'll get to the calls in a bit. A lot of their anti-Semitism is spreading like a wildfire among conservative voices. I was listening to Liz Wheeler yesterday, which is very surprised. She was talking about this offer she got to take a tour of Israel and she's not taking anything from any foreign governments. One of the dangers I've been telling you guys with the new media, because, everybody claims to be independent, and we're all independent to a certain extent, okay? But a lot of these, Candace Owens, Liz Wheeler, and some of the others, they're into how many views they get on their latest episode. A little too much. So the way that they do show prep, okay? Here's how I do show prep in the mornings. You guys know I go through the news. And then whatever I have a question about or pisses me off the most, that's my main topic. And it's something that's a top headline, right? And that's how I think, well, what's the top headline people are interested in that I've got something to say about, right? That it pisses me off or I've got questions about. We have a variety of lead stories every day, but which is the one that I have questions about, that's pissed me off, but is also a headline? And today it's this Project 2025 meltdown. I got some audio I'm going to play later. I was just really enjoying these never-Trumpers yesterday with their meltdowns over Project 2025 in this post by the president yesterday morning. But these others, like Candace Owens and Liz Wheeler and others, that's not how they do show prep. They do show prep by and going and seeing what's trending on X, and then doing a show on that, or what did somebody else get a lot of views on? And let me do that because I'm going to get a lot of views. Like the Netflix thing. A lot of people have been doing Netflix because of these things. Now, I talked about Netflix yesterday, but I didn't make it the main theme of the show. And a lot of conservative influencers that have online programs have been focusing on Netflix because it's a keyword that's going to get them a lot of views. So they want to have it in the description of their shows on whatever platforms they are on. That's how they decide what their headline is. And sometimes they do things that are so out of left field. Now, the reason I'm bringing all this up, and we'll take calls after the first break, guys. I'm going to finish this. We'll take our first break, and then we'll go to the calls after the break. And it is Open MAGA Mike Friday, open phones, any and everything on your mind is fair game today. But I want to get this out before I forget. one of the reasons anti-Semitism is spreading among conservative influencers is because it's good for views and clicks. Tucker did it, and some others, and it's causing a storm. So a lot of people are saying things. And Liz Wheeler was talking about this offer she was given to go to Israel and how she doesn't want to take anything from a foreign government. There's a difference between people being offered to take trips to Israel than being manipulated by this vast global Jewish conspiracy. We do our MAGA cruises every year. Our 10th annual MAGA cruise is coming up in March. You're all invited. It's going to be a great time. I'm going to see if we can get Ian on a little later today. We'll talk about the cruise because I'm so excited. This is going to be our most fun cruise yet. And that's saying a lot because we have fun every time. But you know how these cruises came to be, our MAGA cruises? I was approached, Steve and I were approached to take a listener trip to Israel. This has been years because this is our 10th annual MAGA cruise. So this was before that, right? So this is 11 or 12 years ago. And we were approached to take a listener trip to Israel. And Steve and I didn't want to do it. Not because we don't want to take any money from a foreign government. I don't know. It was with a travel person that takes trips to Israel. And what they wanted us to do with our listeners just didn't sound like a great vacation to me. They wanted us to take our listeners to Israel. They were going to take us to the border of Syria. They were going to take us into a bomb shelter. They were going to take us to some military places. And then they wanted us to do the show live every day from Israel. And Israel's 5 hours ahead of us. So, if we start at 6 a.m., that's like 11 a.m. So 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., they wanted us to do the show every day. And I was like, so wait a minute. Our vacation with our listeners is going to be touring bomb shelters, going to the border of Syria, and we're going to have to do a show in the middle of the day every day from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Israeli time. That doesn't sound like a vacation. So we said, no, no, we don't want to do that. And I said, but Steve, why don't we do a cruise? Because I really could use a vacation. And Steve said, okay, let's try it. And we did the first one, and here we are doing our 10th one yet. So Israel has forever offered people that have an audience and a following to go to Israel, to promote Israel. This is not something exclusive to Israel or to Jews. If you live in another state, you might see commercials to visit Florida. Sometimes you'll see commercials from a governor to visit their state. Sometimes governors travel with travel groups to other states to get people and businesses to come to their state. This is a common thing. And there's this cause celeb that some influencers are doing. It started when Tim Pool announced something that he got invited to, and they're trying to act as if there's this vast Jewish conspiracy to get conservatives to travel to Israel. There have always been people making moves to get people with an audience to travel to Israel. This isn't some Netanyahu thing. It's not new. And, these travel agents and such that do it, they're very well could be subsidized by the government. But our trip, there was a travel agent involved, but it obviously involved the government because we were going to broadcast every day from a radio station in Israel that they were going to organize for us, all at no charge, by the way, and pay us. And they wanted to pay Steve and I both and do all these things. It just didn't sound like fun. Do you guys want to go to the border of Syria? Forget about that, or hang out in bomb shelters and have to do a show in the middle of the day every day? I don't think so. Because of the time change. And there's no vast Jewish conspiracy about this, right? Countries are always promoting themselves. States promote themselves. Destinations promote themselves. This is not new. And a lot of people they want to be part of the plot to try to get recruited by the Jews. So a lot of these conservative influencers are going around acting as if the vast global Jewish conspiracy led by Netanyahu is trying to get them into the bubble. It's It's so ridiculous. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. You know, it rains pretty much each and every day, and that's because we're in hurricane season. If you got a wet spot on your ceiling, call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. I'm going to give you, the number we give out for Tom Laporta rings directly to his cell phone. In fact, anytime you hear me talk about Laporta Roofing, I pull up I get out my iPhone and I pull up the latest text between Tom Laporta and myself, because we text sometimes, and I just pull up my recent text, and then I got his phone number right here. We don't memorize phone numbers anymore. Do you know your wife's phone number, guys? I don't. She's in my phone book, right? I barely know my own. But if you're in the state of Florida and you have a wet spot on your ceiling, you got a leak, you want to call Tom Laporta. He covers the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. He works with every type of structure, residential, commercial, municipal, even does church roofs, every type of roofing material, and he can handle a job of any size, whether it's an HOA with over 400 units or a single-family home. He can do it all and everything in between. Give him a call or text 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. That's 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. We'll be right back. All right. If you're on hold, guys, hang in there. While I do take calls during the breaks, oftentimes, during this first break, I'm going to wait until we get back from the radio break. Do you guys mind that? And if you want to call in, the number's pinned in the live chat. If you're new, make sure that you subscribe. The number's toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. And, we're in October, so it's open enrollment period. So those of you that are Medicare recipients, 65 or older, call Chapter. They're going to give you free Medicare help, okay? When you call the number, which, by the way, they can help you no matter what state you're in. They cover all 50 U.S. states. They can help you in whatever state you're in. And they'll go over your policy with you and make sure you're on the right policy. They're going to make sure that you're receiving all the benefits that you're entitled to. Millions of seniors aren't receiving all the benefits they're entitled to through their Medicare. Chapter will make sure when you call that number on your screen, which is also in the description of the episode, you're going to get a live agent on the phone. They're also going to make sure you're not paying too much. The average Chapter client saves $1,100 a year on their Medicare. That's absolutely amazing. 805-754-3033. 805-754-3033 is the number. The number's also in the description of the episode on whatever platform you're tuned in on. 805-754-3033. And again, they can help you in whatever state that you are in. All right? 805-754-3033. Give them a call. Have them review. And it's completely free, by the way. And there's no catches or gimmicks to that. All right, hold on. We are going to be back in 2 minutes. If you're on hold, stand by. For the first round, I'm just not going to take calls during the break. But moving forward, I will from time to time. But I want to make sure that the callers all get on the air here in the first round on the radio, not just online. Yeah, I don't mind people in the chat giving me a hard time, but if you could not spam, I'd appreciate it. Could you not spam? If you don't mind. That's a little annoying. A lot of people, a lot of liberals, they have no boundaries. They can't follow even the most simple rules of society. We'll be back in just over a minute. Oh, man. Yeah, Chapter can help you in whatever state you're in. It's completely free. You're going to get a live agent, guys. And call the number on your screen, 805-754-3033. The number's also in the description of the video if you missed it. And this is our first, truly national sponsor that we have on the program. So I appreciate you supporting them. All right. We've got about 35 seconds and we'll be back, and I will go to the phones. We had some pretty good calls in the pre-radio show. Hopefully, it'll continue. Well, thank you. Liberally challenged. Oh, man, oh, man. All right. 15 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on this Open Phone Friday, Open MAGA Mic Friday. We'll go right to the phones. Our number, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. How are you doing today? It's Mark from New York.
Hey, Mark. What's up?
Hey, it's kind of off topic, but I'm trying to...
It's open
I've
phone.
been racking my brain for a couple of days now.
Mm-hmm.
And how have you been on the air for 49 years? The math is a math in there.
No, the Steve Kane Show.
And the max, it could be 48.
No, I've been on the air for over 30. Steve Kane.
Yep.
Okay, it's the Steve Kane Radio Show. Steve Kane and the Steve Kane Radio Show have been on 49 years, and we are beginning the 49th year, and I joined into that.
You've been started in 77, as you say, right?
We are beginning the 49th year.
No, you're in your 48th right now.
Beginning the 49th year. We are beginning the 49th year.
When? Next year?
Now. We are beginning the 49th year. Oh my goodness. That's what you're let me tell you something. I'm on the air.
Yep.
You know, I was talking earlier, we're on the air every day. I am on the air more than anyone. Last month, I told this to a caller earlier. Last month, I did 119 live streams on YouTube last month, plus the radio shows 5 days a week. Out of everything that's come out of my mouth, that's where your grief is. Hey, listen, go back to your math bubble and enjoy yourself, all right? Talking about math at any time, day or night, is a bad idea, but at 6:23 in the a.m., forget about it. We're so right and correct on this program. They're really grasping at straws to grab us. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Yeah, hello. Hey, this is Mitch calling from Thailand. Morning, Brian.
Hey, Mitch.
I just checked into the program here. I'm probably what you would call a libtard, but that's all right. I can take a joke. Here are my notes that I'll just fire away at you. No questions, just some thoughts that.
Well, no, slow down. Okay. Don't just throw out a bunch of random thoughts. Pick off of your list of liberal crap. Pick the best thing that you take issue with me on, and we'll talk about that. Start with the best one on your list.
Okay, just the one that just comes to mind is I don't even know if we disagree on it. I just feel like some of the ICE enforcement in Chicago looks like some crazy stuff. Hey, I want those officers to be safe. I want them to go home the next day. I was a soldier. I know that's not an easy job, but there's a right way and a wrong way to do things.
Hey, don't worry. Don't worry. When you bring your girlfriend home or wife from Thailand, I'm sure you'll have proper paperwork. You don't have to worry about ICE.
Oh yeah. I'm not going to worry about it. I just
let me ask you, how old are you? How old are you? How old are you?
I'm over 40.
Over 40? That leaves a lot of wiggle room. Are you over 50?
No, I'm under 50 and over 40.
Okay, so are you one of those guys that's in Thailand because, the women? Why are you living in Thailand?
It's trying to just get away from the United States for a little bit. Had a divorce and.
You're hiding out. Why'd your wife leave you?
Well, I don't want to get into that. She's happy, and I want her to be
I'm
happy.
sure she's not with you, but I'm trying. So you're in Thailand. You're in Thailand for what purpose? You're living in Thailand. You've abandoned your country. Why did you abandon your country for Thailand?
Why did I abandon?
Do you have one of those young Thailand girlfriends or something?
You can always call me back to active duty if they need me. They know how to get a hold of me if they need me.
No, but are you over there because you have one of those young Thailand girlfriends or something, like those guys that moved to the Philippines and stuff?
No, I'm not.
Okay. I'm just curious. I mean, why would you be all the way in Thailand?
Have you ever traveled to Southeast Asia? It's really beautiful.
I have no interest.
If you like the hot
no, I have no interest. I have no interest. I live in the best country in the world. It has every climate and place you can be. Usually, there's two reasons. There's a couple of reasons that people go to live in Southeast Asia. Okay, that are Americans.
Some of it's affordability.
Affordability? No, it's usually for sex. Most guys that move to Southeast Asia, they move there for sex.
That's what I always thought about Thailand. Also, before probably 25 years ago, that was my preconception. And there are those kind of places around here, but it's just like any other country. I mean,
so you don't partake in that. You're a sexless American living in Thailand. A sexless American living in Thailand.
Well, I'm not going to discuss my sex life. No, I'm a happily married.
Okay. So are you married to a woman from Southeast Asia?
Yes. She's from Thailand, and she's a wonderful lady.
She's from Thailand. How old is she?
She's a couple years older than me.
You're married to an older woman? How old is she?
She's well, I don't want to give away personal information that's traceable. That's not.
Who's going to trace an age? How can you trace someone by an age? Okay, all right. So you don't like ICE, but your Thailand wife is married to you. She's not going to get deported by ICE. You're a U.S. citizen. You can get her the visa and bring her home.
This isn't about me.
Do you have kids? Do you have kids?
Yes, I do.
Have they met your Thailand wife yet?
Yes, they have.
Okay, good. So you can come back here. So you don't like ICE. Okay, what's your next beef with MAGA people? You said you're a self-described libtard. You said you called yourself a libtard. What's your next beef? You don't like ICE. What's your next beef with MAGA?
That was just a little bit of jest. I was just kind of.
You said you had a list. You said you had a list. What else is on? What's next on your list of MAGA grievances?
Oh well, I'm gonna go. I did want to say, hey, you had a couple good jams on your call holding line. I don't know what it was, but some all right jams there. Thanks for that.
It's a band from Thailand. They do very good. They do all the music.
Society. One of those things. I try not to interrupt, so I appreciate it if you don't interrupt me.
Well, it's hard for me. It's hard for me to say that you obey the rules of society when you left the mother of your children and fled the country, and then married another woman. I mean, how can you criticize someone for disobeying the rules of society when you've broken so many?
Well, following the rules of society,
Yeah, I'm married. I am married to my first wife, the mother of my child. I'm not.
I hope you guys. Can grow old together.
Mm-hmm. How old were your kids when you left? How old are your kids? Grown?
No, they're still.
What?
They're still in school.
Your kids are underage. They're children. You left them. You abandoned your children. And you have and you're starting a new family in Thailand with a Thailand wife. A Thai wife? I mean, come on. And no wonder you're a liberal. There's too much morality in the Republican Party for you. The reason, a lot of you guys think I pick on people getting together about their, you're a liberal not because of any high-standing morality. You're a man who lives a life of immorality and selfish life. And because you're a selfish person who's left the mother of your children and your children themselves. You're living in Southeast Asia with a Thai wife. You're a liberal because conservatives, well, we have values and standards. So you go to the party that has no values, no morality, and no standards to justify the terrible thing you did.
Are you finished?
I'd like to hear your comment. Tell me. You abandon your children. Come on.
Well, I'm not. Hey, I'm definitely sinning. That's true. And I.
And you don't care. You don't care.
Failings. Well, it's not that. It's not that, Brian.
I mean, nothing would get me to. Why? And you leave the country so far away. It's not like you're in Canada. You're so far away, and your kids are still in school. That's awful. That's awful.
Yeah. I don't.
Let me tell you, your kids, if they don't already, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something.
Hey,
your kids.
You just hold up here for a second, buddy. Hey, just hold up.
Yeah.
You said a lot. I've been quiet.
All right. Well,
now
comment.
Let me say
comment.
You know, I'm not perfect. Hey, I'm not asking anyone to vote for me. No, I'm not voting for myself. Okay.
But yeah.
You know, I mean, hey. Well, let me know what's going on with the Epstein files.
Yeah, nice distraction. See what you're trying to do. See, no, excuse me. See, this is no. I'm not. No. You're not going to distract from this. See, what you don't realize what you've done by abandoning your children are going to grow up, and they're going to be very angry and hate you when they grow up.
Charlie Kirk cover-up.
Why
are you saying that he got shot in the front when he got shot in the back?
What you're trying to do now, because we brought up this thing this shameful thing in your life that you abandon your children. You're throwing these things out there to try to get us off somewhere. Well, listen, I'm late for a break, so I'm going to have to let you go. I appreciate your call. Take care. We're late for a break. See, he doesn't want to deal with this shameful thing that he did, abandoning his children that are still in school. So he's like bringing up, Charlie Kirk assassination conspiracies, Epstein. He's just throwing things out there to try to get his mind off from the shame that he's feeling. We'll be right back. My goodness, if you're on hold, stand by. Woo. Okay. Oh man. Yep, I'll go back to the phones when we get back. If you want to call in, the number is in the live chat. No, I got to take a break. I was late for the break by about 5 minutes. Okay. Yeah, I was very late for the break. So listen, the number on your screen there, 805-754-3033 is for Chapter. Give them a call for free help with your Medicare. They cover all 50 states. So no matter where you are in the United States, Chapter can help you with your Medicare. And you're going to get a live agent on the phone. The help is completely free, no catches, no gimmicks, completely free help with your Medicare. Give Chapter a call. All right, let's see what time we're going to... Oh, we got time here. Let me take a call during the break. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Name's Brian. I'm from Georgia. How are you doing today, Brian?
All right, Georgia. What's on your mind?
Well, I've had a lot on my mind. I've been watching your show for a little bit now, probably around 75 minutes, and I can't help but notice that you can't debate people. You let them talk, but then you just go and mute them. Like that one guy, you personally attack him, you bully him. What's up with that?
I didn't attack or bully him. Let me explain.
I mean, you started mentioning.
Well, excuse me. You're
interrupting me right now.
No, you're interrupting me.
I was talking first.
But you have to take a pause. Well, I'm talking.
Mature.
I am responding to what you said, and I want to explain this to people.
Okay,
the reason that I talk to people sometimes about their personal life is this. My experience is that every single person, their political opinions are based on their life experiences. And he called in and said that he used a term I don't use. He said, you would probably call me a libtard. And I'm calling from Thailand. And Thailand and the Philippines are known for a place where guys go to retire because they get a wife, right, and sex and stuff. And I knew that this is the deal with most men. Most men who are heterosexual, the reason they're liberal is because of some immorality in their life. And I knew he had one because of where he was calling from. And we found out what it is. He abandoned his wife and his children who were still in school. And he's a liberal because of that. That's why I wouldn't bring it up to bully him. It was a very upper level, very sophisticated political discussion. Now, listen, we're going to be back on the radio in about 35 seconds. So I'm going to hold you over. Okay, don't go anywhere. And I'll keep you on the line, and we'll talk when we get back on the radio. But that's why I don't do that just to bully someone or discredit them. I want to get to the meat of why somebody says this.
You did it with the kid earlier. He was 18. You could have debated him easily.
I did debate him.
Interrupted him, and
No, I am.
No, you didn't. I watched it.
Yeah.
I watched it happen, Ryan. You can't deny it.
Oh, I know.
That's like a liberal denying.
Listen,
like
stand by. We'll be back in a few seconds.
Yes, sir. I'll stand by for you. Yes, sir.
Okay, we got 45 seconds. I just got the notice from the radio station. Okay, we'll be back in 45 seconds. No, I didn't bully the kid either. When we get back, I'll go over this, okay? Because you obviously, as a liberal-minded person yourself, you just can't let what I'm saying sink in. But I want to explain it to the audience. And those of you watching in the live stream, when you hear about a man who's an American or an Englishman who lives in the Philippines or Thailand, in a word, tell me the number one reason you think they live there. Tell me in the chat. First thing that comes to your mind. And if it's not sex, you're lying. That's the number one reason. Cost of living second, but number one, sex. All right, stand by. We are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I was talking to this guy during the break. I'm sorry, what's your name? Where are you calling from? I forgot where you're.
Brian, I'm calling from Georgia.
Okay, Georgia. I forgot where you're calling from. So Georgia here. You thought I was bullying this guy from Thailand before the break.
Yes, sir. And can I explain why to you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So one of the reasons why is because he was talking to you, and he was telling you about how, he got divorced by his wife, right? Now, for me personally, if I was divorced, right, by somebody I was with in a long-time relationship, and, the relationship suddenly soured to the point to where we couldn't live together anymore, and it was unbearable, right? I would want to get away, too. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, not to the point where I'm abandoning my children like he is, because I'm sure, he's still doing his best to be in his children's life.
In Thailand.
He's doing his best as a father.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't think he necessarily moved to the Philippines for sex or anything like that, or any of that.
Come on.
Or shit.
Oh, my God. All right. First dump of the day, Mike. Oh, Mike. We were doing so well. We're 40 minutes into the program, and we haven't had to use the dump button. Okay. If you're on hold, stand by. Let me explain about that caller from Thailand. He called in, and he said, you would probably call me a libtard. I don't call people that. I know it's a common thing, but I don't call people that. I may have said it once or twice, but it's not something I say. So he's a self-admitted liberal. He has a list of grievances, and he's an American living in Thailand. So those of you in the listening audience, when you hear of an American man who's left the United States to live in Thailand or the Philippines, what's the first thought that comes to your mind as to why they moved there? First thought. It's sex, isn't it? That's the first thought. That's number one. They'll tell you the cost of living and all that. It's the sex. It's okay. Cost of living may be the second, but that's the first thing. And his first, he said he had a list of grievances. And I said, well, pick your biggest one. And he said, ICE. And I said, don't worry. You'll be able to bring your Thai wife to the United States legally. You're married. You'll get the visa, you know. And I wasn't bullying him. That was very upper level, sophisticated political debate. It may not have felt like it to him, and to you libs out there might not have sounded like it. But here's what I mean by it. And this is why it was indeed not bullying, but political discussion. I am of the opinion, and I've seen nothing to change my opinion of this. When you have grown adults that are liberal, especially men that are heterosexual, usually a heterosexual man who's a liberal, who's a Democrat, is a liberal Democrat because some immorality in their life. And that's not just true with men. It's true with all liberals, except some who are just stupid and uninformed and haven't been exposed to diversity of thought. You know, some of them it's a bad habit. But most liberals in general, men, women, straight or not, but it's almost 100% with men that are heterosexual. They're liberal because of some immorality in their life. Sometimes it's shame. Sometimes women who have had abortions, instead of dealing with the pain of the abortion, become a Democrat, sometimes even abortion activist. But the Republican Party, which is led by the great President Trump right now, the Republican Party has a value system of what's right and what's wrong. And they reject that because we have morality, we have morals. The liberals don't. So they go to the Liberal Party where there's no standards, there's no moral code. This is why Pete Hegseth had to dress down these generals and admirals earlier this week. And with that guy, we found out all kinds of things, didn't we? All right, so let's. We're late on the break because I went like 5 minutes late talking to that guy because it was such an interesting conversation. But I'll take this break late, and then after the top of the hour, we'll get back on schedule. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi there. I'm John from New Mexico.
Yay, John.
I'm wanting to ask your opinion on the Israeli-Gaza conflict right now.
That's too vague. You got to be more specific.
Okay, how Israel's government is currently handling it.
Oh, they're handling it great. The good question. The Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, came to the White House on Monday. President Trump worked out an incredible deal that Israel signed off on. We're waiting for the Gazi and Palestinians to sign off on, giving them completely self-rule, self-governments, get Israel and the IDF out of there, and there'll be an independent nation and rebuild the entire country. So, and Israel signed off on that incredible deal. So I would say that I strongly support what Israel's doing. They're trying, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That was just yesterday?
That was Monday.
Oh, I thought you said Wednesday. My bad.
Monday.
That's great. I
yeah.
did not know about that.
Yeah, that's great. So you, yeah.
The information that I've had on it. So first off, 21. I'm still trying to educate myself right now.
Well, I just educated you on something. So whatever opinion you have, you didn't know about this. So I believe it's 20-point plan, and the people of Gaza are going to have a beautiful country completely rebuilt, have their own independent nation. The Israeli army will be gone, and they'll live in peace and prosperity. And Israel signed that deal. Now the Palestinians have not yet.
Pardon. Gaza will be a nation, or the people
they'll have their own
Gaza
Palestinian state. They'll be their own nation state, independent of Israel. They'll be a nation state. All they have to do is sign the paper. The Palestinians, yeah, the Palestinians just have to sign it.
And that sounds simple, but I feel like. Is there anything maybe of deficit?
There's only one condition. There's one condition. The Palestinians have to stop killing Jews. They can't kill Jews anymore, which I think is a pretty reasonable ask. To have their own country, have it rebuilt, and live in peace and be self-governing. And all you have to do is stop killing Jews. Pretty good deal.
I agree. I completely agree. I do have a question. Is that Palestine as a whole? Is that the governing body of Gaza?
It's Gaza will be a Palestinian state, a Palestinian country.
Well, no. I'm asking if Hamas will be...
No, Hamas has to leave. They're a terrorist organization. Hamas has to leave. Hamas, the terrorist fighters, have to leave.
Okay. And in the case that they're unwilling and they're resisting the Palestinian government who does agree with this, what's the deal? There's
an oversight committee that'll be led by President Trump and other world leaders that will take them out.
Oh, cool.
All right, cool. On that note, yeah, all right. Okay, I'm going to take this break, and then we'll be on schedule, all right? Let me talk about Dr. Appleton. You know, it's Friday, tomorrow's Saturday, and don't start the weekend in pain. Go see Dr. Appleton and say bye-bye to your pain like I've done 7 times. You know, with Dr. Appleton, there's no appointment necessary. Walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays. In fact, most of the times that if you ever run into me at Dr. Appleton's, it's on Saturdays because I can get free on Saturday, and I go in there and get my laser treatment when I am injured or hurt or suffering in pain. You know, when I was growing up, I thought pain was just a part of growing old because I remember my grandparents when they were younger than I am today, which is kind of scary to think about. And and they were always having aches and pains. Well, that was like the 70s and the 80s. Dr. Appleton didn't have the robotic laser around in the 70s or 80s. Living in pain is not a part of growing old. You can live pain-free like I do. Go see Dr. Appleton. You know, with the laser treatment, which is not only 100% painless, you don't even feel it when it's happening. There's no shots, no drugs, no surgery, no downtime, no appointment necessary. And my favorite part is it works. It rids you of the pain. Give them a call, 954-973-0710, 954-973-0710, 954-973-0710, and online, AppletonCairo.com. We'll be right back. All right. Okay, so far so good. All right, let's take a call here. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Be Kyle again from Arizona. I was just wondering, why you wouldn't let me talk, and you kind of debunked my whole argument just because of my age. You wouldn't really listen to me, all because I was 18, and I was just wondering, I was really looking forward to having a good talk with you. Maybe learning some stuff. Maybe you learned some stuff from me, even though I'm young. But maybe we could have had, a good back and forth, a good talk.
I've got nothing to learn. You can't. Yeah, I can learn nothing from you. See,
right.
What you're dealing with, what you're dealing with me, is what you reject, a fatherly advice. Okay, and you don't like like a lot of guys your generation, this very spoiled Gen Z generation or whatever you're calling yourself. Yeah, you don't have you don't have.
I've worked for everything I own.
Okay, you don't have you can't handle father figures telling you what's right and what's wrong, and that's
I sure can because my father figure is still in my life. And
well,
he gives me advice every day.
then you'll take my fatherly advice, okay?
Okay, I'm willing to listen.
No, our conversation earlier, whatever I told you there, that's the advice. I'm not going to give you more advice today. I don't think you can. I don't think you can handle anymore.
We were talking about the Israel.
Yeah, but listen, I have one rule. Stuff. I have really one major rule on the program. You can only call me once a day, but you're on again a second time. But call me another day, and we'll talk more about Israel. But call me another day. All right. Take care. All right. Oh boy. Okay, we'll be back in 25 seconds, and I'll take some more calls. Oh my goodness. He's the one that called in earlier. That was a good conversation. He didn't Mm-hmm. All right. 10 seconds, guys. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. All right, it is open phones every Friday. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. On Friday's show, you can call in about any and everything on your mind. I did bring up some stuff in the beginning that is very good, and I've got a lot of other things I'm going to sprinkle in. But you don't even have to comment on what I bring up. On Friday, the show prep is up to you and the listening audience. The number is toll-free no matter where you're tuned in at, 888-465-2631. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Mark from Ohio.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, I just had one simple question for you.
Mm-hmm.
That is, what would you rather have, safety or freedom?
That's such a vague question.
If you only had one. Pardon?
I don't even know what you mean. You got to be more specific with me.
Okay. Would you rather have safety?
From what?
Do you feel that safety is more important than freedom?
That's the same thing you said before. Just say what you are talking about. Give me some specific examples.
Why is it so hard to? Why is it so?
Give me
hard
some.
To
Would I rather
be?
Would I rather have safety from this or that, or freedom from this or that? Well, tell me what you. Just say what you mean. Stop trying to be me. Hold on. Let me answer these phones while you're thinking. All right. Be more specific.
Okay. Here we go. Would you rather have safety as far as the government protecting you, or would you rather have freedom?
Well, we have both in America.
Okay, but what would you rather have?
No,
if you had to make
they're the
decision.
They're the same thing. It would I give you an example. Right now, ICE is making us freer and safer in American cities by deporting these criminal illegals. As an example, we're safer and freer. We can walk around in places we would get killed walking around in before, right? So what we have are hold on a second. What we have are both. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what's your beef with Trump? What's your beef with Trump?
The only thing I'm against him is he's not good for no one.
He's not good for no one is a double. Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
But Joe Biden
hold on a second. Not good for no one is a, slow down. Not good for no one is a double negative, which two negatives make a positive. That means he's good for everyone. I agree with you on that. Trump's good for everyone. Pick your biggest grievance with President Trump. Like, what's the one thing he's doing that just ticks you off the most?
Well, you got to understand, I voted for him the first time.
Well, I'm talking about now. What's your grief with him now? What's your grievance with him today?
Right now,
yeah.
The biggest beef is he is a
no profanity.
Actor.
He's a what?
Oh, no, he's an actor. He's an actor.
Ronald Reagan was an actor. Ronald Reagan was an actor.
Yeah, he was.
You don't like him either?
And I was a little too young to.
Okay.
Just a little too young to.
He's an actor.
Really know anything.
Why'd you vote for him? Why'd you vote for him the first time?
Because he was all about America.
And he still is.
Well.
Give me an example. Give me an example. Excuse me. Give me an example of President Trump doing something that's not for America.
Well, first, I can't because
you said he's not.
Everything that they do.
When
a politician does something, the news helps cover up.
But you say he's not doing what's right. You say he's not doing what's right for America. So you can't.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say he wasn't doing what was right for America.
Give me what is he doing policy-wise? What is he doing policy-wise that's not good for the United States?
He's an actor.
That's just a word. He's a liar? What did he lie about?
Like the Democrats.
What did he lie about? Tell me his lie. In this second term,
they're all criminals.
What did he lie? What did he lie to us about? What did he lie to us about?
You don't point that out.
What did he lie to us about?
When he wakes up in the morning, he lies.
Tell me his last lie. Tell me his most recent lie.
I can't tell you.
Well, you called him a liar. You don't have an example of a lie? You called him a liar.
Wait a minute. Do you believe it? Do you believe media? Do you believe the media?
No,
Yes or
you
no?
said Trump is a liar, and I asked you to give an example.
Do you believe the media?
You said that President Trump is a liar.
Do you believe the media? Do you believe the media?
Why are you?
It's a
What
yes
are
or
you?
no
Are you on?
answer.
I'm not here to answer you. I'm not on a witness stand. You don't have some exclusive interview with me going on.
That's how you talk to me.
Well, you listen. Listen. You called me. You know what I'm all about. You called me. I didn't call you. Okay. So you said President Trump is a liar, but you can't think of a lie that he's told.
You have a good day.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, good. You have a good day too. Trying to think of a lie that President Trump told. Good luck with that. I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas, who was in studio with me yesterday. I asked Joe Thomas about something yesterday that we talked about. And I want to go over this because this is amazing. Annuities. I've heard about annuities for as long as I can remember. Guys on the radio talking about annuities since I started in this business. And until I met Joe Thomas, I didn't understand what they were. I met with Joe Thomas, and in about 2 minutes, I understood all about annuities in a way that I'd never heard explained before. With annuities, your money is never at risk. No matter what happens in the market, you never lose a penny, and you're guaranteed an income stream for the rest of your life. That's all I needed to hear, right? There's no downside. It's all positive. A revenue stream for the rest of your life, that's super cool to me. And yeah, I know, isn't that wild? But then what I've learned over the time I've known Joe Thomas is that there's all different kinds of annuities that give you all kinds of extra benefits on top of your money's never at risk and you got the guaranteed income. And there's all kinds of them. And I talked to him about some of the specifics sometimes. The one we talked about yesterday was one that is just absolutely amazing. The income doubler. If, when you get an annuity, you're married, you and your spouse, it's in your name. If one of you have a health condition, your monthly income gets doubled. So if you're getting $2,000 a month, it's now $4,000 with the income doubler, with the health issues. And let me tell you, when one of the spouses becomes ill and has health issues, life gets so expensive. And that income doubler is life-saving money. It is life-changing, life-saving money. There's many other types of annuities too, like the one where you get the 10% bonus on your money on day one before you even leave the office. That's amazing. 10%, it's easy to do. So if you get an annuity for $100,000, it can be less. But if you get an annuity for $100,000, you make $10,000 before you leave the office. Isn't that nuts? It's crazy. Give Joe Thomas a call and set up your no-charge consultation. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. That's 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, just go to his website. It's the easiest website to remember, JupiterJoe.com. That's why I call him Jupiter Joe all the time, to help remember the website, JupiterJoe.com. All right? Okay, we're going to take our break for the top of the hour. There is one opening on our board. It is Open MAGA Mike Friday, open phones on Friday. You can call in about any and everything on your mind on Friday's show. The number is toll-free no matter where you're tuned in from, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. If you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll take our break for the top and be right back. Okay, we're clear. I'm going to take a call or two during the break. You guys mind? I don't think you do. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
You talking to me?
Sounds like you. Yes.
This is Mike from New York.
Hey, Mike.
Mike from New York.
Mike, speak up. What's on your mind?
All right, let me speak up. Okay. First of all, when I went to Brazil for a bachelor party like 15 years ago,
yeah,
every single girl, Michael Moore would be the #1 bachelor over there, like in Thailand. They're dying to get to America and to get a green card. They'll con this guy for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years.
Oh, you're talking about the guy from Thailand with the wife? Do you believe that guy told me that his wife is older than him? I've never heard of a guy going to Thailand and coming home with an older wife. I've never heard that one.
Yeah, nobody leaves their children to go to another country. They go with an Asian wife, and the only reason she's with them is to get her green card. It's obvious.
Yeah.
I was telling everybody that when we went to Brazil, these guys were falling in love. I said, are you crazy? These girls just want to get to our country.
Correct.
With a green card. I go, you're nuts. I go, all right, but anyway, you know, Brian, you're the greatest. I'm telling you, your calls are ridiculous.
You know, Mike, we haven't heard from you. You're a long-time listener. I haven't heard from you in a long, long time.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's called work. You know, I have to work
there you go.
You know, liberals don't understand that. But anyway, when they complain about Trump, which is the craziest thing in the world, he ran on three things: the economy, borders, and crime. That's really what's important, right? And look at the economy. The stock markets are at record prices. My 401ks have never been higher. It's going through the roof. The borders are all closed. There's not one illegal crossing the border.
I will say this. There's been massive inflation with illegal drugs since he's shut down the drug trade and blows up the drug trafficking boats and everything. The inflation must be really high on fentanyl and cocaine and weed and stuff. Heroin.
We ended illegal immigration. We've got the most secure border in history. And then on crime, he's set up for potential all-time lows, murders everywhere. I mean, Chicago's going to be next, Washington. I mean, everywhere he goes, crimes go down 87%.
Yep.
I mean, he's deporting hundreds of thousands of illegal criminals every single day.
Hey, listen, I've only got a few seconds left. Is Zohan going to win in New York?
Unfortunately, he's going to win. Yeah, you know,
sucks.
It's a crazy thing. Everybody here is going to vote for him. Even the Jewish people on the Upper East Side, because they have so much money, they don't even spend their time in New York. They're in the Hamptons. So
they're in the Hamptons. They're in the Hamptons.
Trump syndrome. It's Trump derangement.
All right, Mike, I gotta run. I'm up against the clock, but it's all right. Good to hear from you. He's a longtime listener. He's a bodybuilder. That guy. Believe it or not, he's a long time. He used to call a lot. All right, stand by. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back. Hour number 2 has begun. There is only one opening on our board at 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. My name's Brian Craig. Hour number 2 has begun. Now, remember, Friday is Open Phones, Open MAGA Mike Friday. You can call in about any and everything on your mind on Friday's show. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. All right, line 2, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Chris, and I'm from Hope, Arkansas.
Oh, Bill Clinton's Bill Clinton's hometown.
I really like to claim Mike Huckabee more than I do Bill Clinton.
Okay.
But
they're both Huckabee's from Hope too? I did not know that.
Yes.
Wow.
And Sarah.
Really?
Yes.
I guess you have to be from Hope to be the governor of Arkansas.
I guess so. First, I'm a first-time listener, first-time caller.
Welcome.
And I'm a huge MAGA Trump supporter.
Awesome. Good for you.
But what I wanted to call in, you said it was Open Mic Friday.
Yep.
Is here in Arkansas, there's a case that I believe should be getting national attention, and like the news media reported on it for like 13 seconds. And it's a case stemming out of 2024, and there's a hero dad that is facing second-degree murder charges.
Why? What happened? What did he do?
His daughter had been his 13-year. At the time, she was 13-year-old daughter. In June of 24, her abuser was 67 years old.
Oh my goodness!
And he was facing over 40 counts of sexual crimes against a child.
Oh my goodness!
They let him out on a ridiculously low bond because he was former law enforcement. The way I understand it,
yeah,
had some type of family ties to the judicial system in that area.
Yeah.
And so they let him out on a ridiculously low $50,000 bond, the 67-year-old who had been
having sex with a 13-year-old.
With this 13-year-old.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, in October, with a no-contact order, in October, he abducts the young lady again.
Oh.
She's 14 in October.
Oh, my goodness.
The dad hears the dog barking. He goes, he sees his daughter's not in her bed, and essentially he chases the dude down. He calls 911, chases the dude down, and eliminates the source.
He defended his daughter. This man who had raped his daughter in the past was abducting her to do it again, and he took him out. He took the kidnapper out, and he was arrested, and he's going to trial for murder. That's crazy.
He was arrested. When they first arrested him, they charged him with first-degree murder and put a gag order on the case where it couldn't be talked about at all.
Well, I'll tell you this. By the way, welcome to the program, and I hope you become a regular. Here's the thing. I can't remember the details of this case, but you're old enough, you'll remember it when I share it with you. There was a father. This was in the 80s. This was a big case in the 80s. I was either in high school or middle school when this happened, and it was a national story for quite a while. There was a guy who had raped and molested a young boy, and he was arrested in another state, and he was being extradited by law enforcement from the state they arrested him and to the state where he committed the crime for charges. And they were walking him through the airport, and it was a high-profile case. And there was news were there videotaping him.
I remember this case.
Yeah, and he was walking through the airport, and they walked by. This is how long ago this was. There was a guy talking on a payphone who turned around and shot him dead in the airport. And that was the man at the payphone was the father of the boy that had been raped. And he was they charged him with murder, sent him to trial, and he was acquitted by a jury. If now this case that you're talking, look that case up, guys. If you've never seen it, it was great. I've never heard of this story you're telling me, but based on what you're telling me, they'd have a pretty hard time getting a conviction. At least they'd get a hung jury. I mean, there's nothing. Based on what you told me, I would go nothing but not guilty no matter what. They'd never get a conviction on a jury I was on. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a cover-up and it's a corruption case. And if the Supreme Court of the state of Arkansas wouldn't have released the gag order, it would have. To me,
it sounds, when you talk about a guy who used to be a cop, I don't know, it sounds like some local hicks, right? And just some corrupt town that if this were the 50s, they'd get away with it. But there's a spotlight on the corruption. Yeah, it would be so hard for me to believe that they could get a conviction on this guy. I mean, I don't think he should be going to trial, but if he sadly has to go to trial, how could they get a conviction based on what you told me? If what you told me is true, because that's all the information I have.
I don't see how they could. The case going to trial is the Aaron Spencer case.
Oh, Aaron Spencer.
I encourage you if you get a time to look it up.
Is Aaron Spencer the dad?
Aaron Spencer's the dad.
I'll look it up.
Who eliminated Michael Fossler.
Yeah, it just came up. Yeah, it's I just pulled it up. I'll look it up. Well, hey, listen, I got to run, but I appreciate the call, and call me again sometime. Okay. All right, take care. I'm glad he brought that to my attention. I just pulled the case up. I'll read that during the break. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Bob from Michigan.
Hey, Bob, what's up?
I just have a question for you. I'm wondering whether you have an opinion on this Comey indictment.
Well, we got to be more specific. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether you would think it's a possibility that we were just throwing a bone.
No.
To pacify us for now.
Nope. This the Comey indictment. Comey is the ringleader of everything Trump's been going through from the beginning. He's the ringleader from day one. From the, remember, Steele gave the dossier to John McCain, supposedly in a D.C. park late one night, and John McCain immediately gave it to Comey. Comey has been the leader of everything President Trump has dealt with for the last over 10 years. And let me finish, and then you'll understand. Okay.
Okay.
Pam Bondi and Kash Patel had not done their job. They had no indictments. I keep hearing about these grand juries. President Trump appointed, this was, I guess, 2 weeks ago now, he appointed this 36-year-old MAGA conservative right here from Florida as the acting United States attorney. She immediately went to the grand jury, argued the case herself, and got the indictments. President Trump personally got the indictment against Comey. Okay? And Comey tried to extort him with the dossier at Trump Tower when he was president-elect the first time. President Trump personally got the indictment against Comey. So no, this is the real deal. And remember, that indictment came right after President Trump reprimanded Pam Bondi. He put that text up that she hadn't come through. He got Kristen, I keep forgetting her last name. No, this indictment comes directly from Trump's actions. He got the indictment, not Pam Bondi. This is not throwing us a bone. It's the real deal.
All right. Well, I hope they don't stop there. That's the real deal. But then they don't go any further.
No. They say John Bolton's they got some stuff on him. No, it's not gonna. Don't worry. Trump's on this. He's pissed.
Let me ask you a far out question here, because I think it's ridiculous, but I think there's a lot of people who believe it. What do you think about people already going through tribunals and being executed? And
no, there's no tribunals. That's all methods of crap. And people just make that crap up, and first of all, why would you see what we got with our generals and admirals? Pete Hegseth brought him to Washington and reprimanded them. You really think these wokesters that are the generals and the admirals are leading military tribunals? This fantasy that people keep promoting for years is just made up stuff.
No, I think Hegseth put that out there thinking, okay, let's see, how can we get rid of these people to pass this?
Yep.
All right, you're going to have to do PT, you're going to have to get rid of your beard, you're going to quit looking fat, and then all those people are going to just say, hell with it, I've been in here long enough.
Yep.
I'm getting out.
Yep. All right, appreciate the call. Take care. I got to run. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to talk about life imaging FLA. Last week I got my full body scan and my heart scan, and I found out that I am completely cancer-free, nothing going on. I am in perfect health. My heart, my arteries at the age of 54, no plaque, no blockage. I have the heart of a 20-year-old. I've been telling you guys, my cholesterol has been around 300 for 25 plus years. And I've been scared about this every day. And now I got the peace of mind. My life has been so much better in the last week since I know. I thought that I was going to come out with 30 to 40% blockage in my arteries. And by this time I would have had surgery and had stents put in or bypass. I really thought so because my cholesterol has been so high for so many years. Every doctor I've had for the past 20 plus years has told me I'm going to die of a heart attack. And not only I have been worried about it, but my wife has been worried about it too. And I got the full body scan, so I also I have no cancer, nothing. I am in perfect physical condition, and I know that thanks to Life Imaging FLA. But people go in there every day, like I did, and find out that they have blockage, that they're a step away from a heart attack, or that they have a tumor, they have cancer or something. Don't let that happen to you. And don't go around thinking you're in bad health like I was doing for years when you're not. Life Imaging FLA, they can detect heart disease and some cancers before you show any symptoms. Yeah. And the scan that they use is completely open, and you don't have to get undressed. I wore what I was wearing. I didn't have to take off my watch. I didn't have to put on I thought I was going to have to strip down and put on a hospital gown. No, I wore my street clothes that I wore into the office. So go in there and get your scan. They have locations in Broward, Dade, and in Palm Beach. It's really amazing. Multiple studies show that looking inside of your body with a CT scan can significantly reduce cancer deaths because they find it. I'm in shock at the great health that I'm in, and it's really given me not just a big weight off my back of being worried about it, but my family have been worried too. My wife, my daughter, my mother, my in-laws, they've all figured I'm going to have a heart attack at some point. I'm in my 50s. They figured before 60 I was going to have a major heart attack. But nope, no blockage, no plaque. Arteries completely clear. I've got, it's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. With like 300 cholesterol. But people go in there every day to find out they have cancer or a lot of blockage. Give them a call. You want to call Life Imaging FLA and get your free heart scan now with a few minimum requirements, valued at $699. From your cell, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. That's pound 250. Just say free heart scan and you'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250 and say free heart scan. You could save your life or get a weight lifted off your shoulders like I did. We'll be right back. All right, let's go. Let's see here. All right, let's take some more calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. All right, once, twice. You missed out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
I want to mention something. I told you about a week ago that AOC was getting $70,000 a month that they cut off farming. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I get somebody saying that Kamala Harris got reimbursed $12 million.
For what? Now, was that her bar tab in D.C.?
That's probably a little light, but I want to know if she got $12 million, was it taxpayer dollars? Was it just a reimbursement for her campaign people? What happens to that money?
I don't know.
Does she keep it? Does she get it? You know what I mean? And then I hear that Nancy Pelosi from USAID got $14 million for growing grapes in California. Like we need grapes in California that bad that they can't give it. Well, I know
some kind of farm subsidy.
Yeah, farm subsidy. So $14 million to grow grapes. Now I know people growing trees on their property. They don't get anything from the federal government. So I don't know what's going on. Anyway,
man, if they're giving money away, I'll plant some grapevines in my backyard. If they're giving money away like that for grapes, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh man!
Of course.
I'll turn. I have a fence that goes around my house. I'll put a grapevine around the whole thing if they're going to send me that kind of money.
Yeah, man. Maybe it won't be that much money, but at least be something. But they were giving money away. Like the Treasury was just growing.
Sounds like a scam.
Money on trees.
They all got a scam going, right?
And the other thing I just read that some professor says she's afraid that she's going to have to lie and teach her students that there's only female and male.
Genders? She's going to have to lie and say there's only two genders?
Only two genders, yeah. The only two. These people have gone completely berserk. It's one thing to say something in private, but another thing to say it in public and let people know how crazy you are. Yeah, man, I don't get it.
We need to do a major recruitment to have young MAGA people become school teachers. I mean, that's how you take back the schools, not with the school boards, okay? I mean, we have all these woke, green hair and blue hair weirdo teachers.
But I would think that unless you're a part of that group, it's going to be tough to get a job because they're going to say, "Oh, well, you're a Republican. We don't want you." You know, these schools are shot. I don't know how we fix it, but we certainly need some schools that are certainly just for the normal people, because these people are too weird. Unfortunately, that most of the colleges are like that, and they're indoctrinating our kids, brainwashing from the time they're in junior high school.
That's right.
Terrible.
That's
Terrible,
right.
man.
That's right. Yeah, I know. See, the thing is, listen, I got to run. We're up against the clock, but good to talk to you. All right, take care. If you're on hold, stand by. We're in a break right now on the radio, but we'll be back in 20 seconds. And we'll go to the phones. Okay, hold on. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right, you missed out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes.
G'day, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Not too bad. Well, look, I'm calling because this has been a long time waiting. I've been discussing it amongst myself and my wife what I should do. It's going to sound a little crazy, but do you have Telegram?
No, I don't use Telegram.
No? Okay. What if I could actually give you Epstein's Black Book?
No, that would be false information. Why would I want that? Why would I want that? Why would I want that?
Why wouldn't you?
No. Why would I want Jeffrey Epstein's little black book? And by the way, people haven't carried little black books since like 1983. You know, but what does that mean? Just hey, listen. What would be the purpose of that?
Why? Because people could actually see what's actually out there.
People could see who's in his phone book. Do you know that there are people, people have you or me in their phone book on their phone. You may not even know them. What does that mean? If somebody has
Do you know what the purpose and the meaning of a black book actually is?
If someone has your name written down in their personal phone book or in the phone book on their phone, what does that mean?
You've never, clearly by what you're saying is you've never actually seen the book, but you want to actually.
I know about books and phone books and everything else. What I'm trying. No, I'm not talking about what I want you to explain is if somebody. If someone has a book, a phone book, a black book, a phone book, whatever it is, right? A Rolodex,
yes,
and it has.
If I want to get a phone book, I don't actually have to go on a
Hold on a second. So somebody has a phone book of any kind, a black book, whatever it is. They have a name in it. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Okay. So when he says the names of princes and, like, let's just say Prince Philip.
Yeah.
It has, and
Prince
Andrew,
Philip. Yeah, Prince Andrew. So, yeah. Okay. Let me tell you. Listen. Let me tell you what it. Let me tell you what it means. Let me tell you. Let me tell you what it. Hold on a second, Crocodile Dundee. Okay. What it means is they put your name in a book. Your name in a book means nothing. Having your name in a book means that somebody wrote your name in a book. It doesn't mean anything.
So what you're saying is Epstein's Black Book means nothing.
Correct. Yes, correct.
So you're saying anything tied to Epstein means nothing then?
No. I didn't say that.
Yeah, well, that's what you just said.
No, it's not what I said.
Did, because you said
I said if somebody has a phone book, a black book, any kind of book, and it has a name in it, it just means that they put your name in it.
Then why won't Congress release it?
Well, they don't have.
How that sounds, but what if I tell you I have a link to the FBI copy?
I would say that you are either full of it or a stupid, naive person.
Okay, we'll get Telegram app.
I don't need to get the Telegram app. I mean, how would some Crocodile Dundee sounding Australian have access to classified FBI files?
Really? And you've never heard of the dark web that is a global network?
No, I'm talking. No, listen. How would you? I want you to think about what you're saying. You're saying that you, living somewhere in the land down under, have access to classified hidden FBI files? That just doesn't seem to pass the smell test to me, or the smile test.
Okay, so let's test me.
No, I'm not interested in
Test
testing you.
You don't want to say, okay, so you're not testing me.
I'm not interested. Because
Can I say something for 10 seconds and then
No, you cannot. I mean, come on. The guy thinks he has some secret information. I don't think so. All right. Oh boy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Jeff.
I can't hear you. Speak up. Put your mouth closer to the phone.
Jeff?
All right,
Hello?
Jeff. Yeah, Jeff. What's on your mind?
Okay. The Republicans control the House and the Senate. Why do they need the Democrats to pass the bill?
I'm glad you asked. I explained this to a caller earlier, but I'm going to explain it to you. What's holding this up? You got to listen. Okay, you asked a very good question, so you obviously are lacking knowledge, which I'm going to give to you. Okay, you ready? Okay, and what I'm about to tell you, you can, when we're done speaking, you can let your fingers do the Googling and look this up, and you'll see that I'm right, okay? The United States Senate, when they're passing budget resolutions and such, when they're passing things, they have all kinds of fancy rules in the Senate that the Senate puts in place. And you can't, on budget matters, you can't pass them with a simple 51 vote majority. You have to have a 60 vote majority to avoid the filibuster. We don't have 60 Republicans. So we need some Democrats to join us. And none of the Democrats will join us. That's why it's the Democrats' fault. All the Republicans were voting for the budget and get the continuing get everything done. But we don't have enough votes.
No, they did not show up to vote.
No, we don't have enough. We don't have enough votes. You need to have 60 votes to pass it according to the Senate rules. So all the Republicans are ready to vote for it, but the Democrats, none of them will cross over. That's why. That's why when President Trump says the Democrats are responsible for the shutdown, that's what he means. It takes 60 votes.
Yeah, well, then explain to me why before the shutdown, Congress went into session, they did the Pledge of Allegiance, and then they shut it down.
And then they what?
Without swearing.
I don't know what you're talking. I'm telling you, we're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, no, you asked a question. Hold on.
Will you shut up for a second and let somebody speak? It ties in together.
Okay.
Because they did not swear the congresswoman from Arizona, and that would have gave them 218 votes to pass the Epstein bill and to release the Epstein file.
See, this is what happens when these liberals are up against the wall. They say Epstein as like an SOS.
Exactly.
We're not. No, we're talking about the budget. You said, why did the Senate not pass it? I explained to you that it takes 60 votes to pass it in the Senate. We don't have 60 U.S. senators. Okay, so we need Democrats to cross over. I gave you this information you didn't know, so you can respond to that.
No, I knew that. I knew it. I wanted to see if you knew.
Oh, you did. Oh, you knew. Oh, you weren't. Oh, you were. Oh, you knew about the 60 votes. You just wanted to see if I knew. Get off the phone, you stupid idiot. Oh my goodness. Yes. He's calling back already. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be right back. Hold on. I don't know why it's doing that, the phone. All right, let's go. You're on the air. Well, I can put you on hold if you want. I just picked it cold. I'll put you on hold if you don't want to be on hold. If you don't want to be on the air so quick, I'll put you on hold. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, you can't debate. All you can do is just bully.
No. Not only did I debate, I filleted you in the debate, and you look like an idiot.
No, you look like an idiot because I just told you that I already knew that they didn't.
Then why did you ask? Because
Because I was baiting you, and you said it.
You were baiting me? All right, get off the phone again. All right, don't call me again today. Call me next week. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Scott. I'm calling from Kansas City.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I wanted to bring up something that I think is important. It's a story that got kind of swept aside by other.
Hold on a second here. Hold on. Yes, you're on the air. I'm gonna tell you. I knew it was you. If you call me again, we're not gonna talk again. You understand that? It's one call per day. We're in a break, so I'm giving you a break, but we're done talking today. You can call me on another day. If you call me again today, we'll never. If you call me again today, we will never talk again.
Oh, you hurt my feelings.
Well,
really?
Yeah.
You hurt my feelings. You know why? Because you can't handle the truth.
I know. I can't handle you. I know. All right. Appreciate the call. Oh my goodness. All right. Sorry about that. I had to take some trash out to the curb. What's on your mind?
Well, I want to talk about just for a moment about the incident that happened in a cycle. I think about 2 weeks ago. It was the woman who refugee from overseas who was stabbed to death on the bus.
Yes.
And you made a point about everybody's just standing and wondering, what the heck are they doing?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they standing around just watching? And that's nothing new. In fact, there's a name for it. It's called the Kitty Genevieve passive witness. Yeah, it's got a lot of names, but
the one that's easy to say is cowardly. Cowardly.
Yeah, but it's a bizarre phenomenon. It has a name. It's been studied. There was a woman named Kitty Genevieve who was attacked by a psychopath almost exactly like the guy that attacked the young woman.
Mm-hmm.
And there was about 38 people who just stood around and did nothing. Or leave that girl alone. And that's about all they did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess, sadly, there's a lot of cowards out there. You don't sound like a coward, though. You sound like a guy who would have stood up and tried to save the young girl. They didn't even try to stop the bleeding.
Well, there was some guy that came in and attacked the woman at the laundromat once that I had to.
Oh, okay. So you've been a hero. All right. Yeah.
Well,
okay.
not a hero. I just came after.
Well, good. No, I wish you were. Too bad you weren't on the bus. That girl may be alive today if you were on the bus. I mean, but unfortunately, you had a bunch of cowards.
Well, yeah, but that would depend on if I was armed with a weapon or not. I mean,
you might have gotten up and stopped. You might have gotten up and tried to stop the bleeding. Hey, listen, I got to run. I'm up against the clock, but I appreciate the call. All right, take care. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. And let's see, we're coming back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. It is Open Phones on Friday. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. And I got to tell you, so far, this has been one of the better Open MAGA Mike Fridays we've had in a while. The calls have been spectacular. People bringing up some really good stuff. Just the right amount of lunatics have been calling in. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air.
My name is Zach from New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Oh, hey, good morning.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness, my sound. Yep, my sound is really messed up. I'm so sorry here.
Oh, well, I can hear you fine. Go
Can you
ahead.
hear me now?
I can hear you, yeah.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Hey, good morning, Brian. So I've never heard you before, and I don't really like the combative debate thing. I'm pretty far on the left, but I'm hoping that we can find some stuff that we agree on as far as, like, the direction that we want our country to go in and what we want to be able to provide for American citizens.
All right, pick
you?
your biggest beef with Trump, and we'll talk.
My biggest beef with Trump? Man, That's a tough one.
You said you're a liberal.
On a personal level.
He's been the front man of the Republican Party for over a decade now. He's in his second non-consecutive term. You're a liberal. You can't think of one grievance you have with Trump? Come on. That's pretty bad. So you agree with everything he's doing?
Well, that's not really fair. No, I don't like his character. I think he sets a poor example for the citizen.
Really? Like when Bill Clinton was having sex with 25-year-old interns while he was talking to foreign leaders on the phone? That was okay, though.
I didn't say anything about anyone else being okay. You asked me specifically.
Well,
about
what has he done like
Trump.
that? I mean, do you know Bill Clinton was on the phone with the president of Russia, the guy that had Putin's job, while he was having sex with Lewinsky at the same time? What has President Trump done like that? And Democrats supported him and reelected him after
I
that.
think this is pretty wild. So I'd much prefer to talk about.
I'm sure you would.
To provide for our citizens.
Well, maybe our citizens.
Particularly.
Oh yes. Moving on.
Citizens within America.
Yes.
I would love to see the farmers of the country be able to provide reasonable, safe, cheap food for the entire country. And I'd like a system that supports that.
Okay.
What do you think?
That's pretty generic. I get it. You're one of those liberal.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. No, I get it. I got you. You're one of those liberal people who have this utopian view of the world that if we would just do what you liberals wanted us to do, everything would be perfect. Food would be cheap, and this would be cheap, and we'd all have.
No, that's not quite it. That's not quite it. But I do think that if we all worked together for a better world, that we may not end up there, but we'd get closer.
How old are you?
About 40, yeah.
40, okay. I'm a little older. When I first moved out on my own, I was like 18, 19, and I didn't make a lot of money.
Sure.
I was working in radio, making $5 an hour, and I discovered something. I discovered a couple things. When it came to cheap food, it's everywhere. You can go to Taco Bell with $5 or $10 and have enough food for the day.
Yeah.
Or you could go to Little Caesars and you can get a $5 pepperoni pizza. That'll last you for the whole day. There's all kinds of.
We used to go to McDonald's and grab those snack wraps. We get damn near 20 of them.
Yeah, exactly. So there's all and today you can go to Little Caesars and get a $5 pepperoni pizza. You can still Taco Bell. Man, you know how many hard crunchy tacos you can get for $10? A whole bunch. So there's cheap food everywhere. That problem solved. That was your main problem with Trump. Problem solved.
We have the smallest herd of beef cattle in the country right now.
There's another thing that you want to talk about cheap food? Kraft macaroni and cheese and hot dogs.
Okay, but that's not vegetables and beef though. That is very processed,
listen. When the more money, hold on a second. The more money someone has, the better everything they have. Better food, better clothes, better car, better house, better women. Right?
Do you think that increased money that they have is in any part?
See, I don't live off of $5 a day for food anymore at Taco Bell.
No,
because I make more money now. But when I only made $5, when I only made $5 an hour, I never went hungry. Yeah. I used to get? I used to get, Tortino's pizza. You can get those, those are pretty.
Do you think there's a big difference between having a fridge full of good food and knowing that I have to stop at Taco Bell to get some cheap ass shit?
Second dump of the day, Mike. Second dump of the day. Oh my! The liberals are big on certain things today. Oh boy! But you can't use profanity. One way to save money on food is to, not eat so much. How about that? I want to talk about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I lost over 35 pounds thanks to Coastal Weight Loss Secret. My stomach is completely flat. I've lost many inches off my my waist. And those guys, you guys out there, go back and look at me on YouTube in December. Go on my YouTube channel and look at me in December, and then come back and look at me today. And then, I turned that ringer on. I got to turn that down. Look at me today, and you'll see my square jaw, no double chin, flat stomach. You can see the difference. And just recently, I lost a few more pounds. And I lost all this weight without any exercise, without starving myself, eating foods I would normally eat, no shots, no injections. I keep seeing these people that are taking the shots and those pills that you hear about. They look sickly, don't they? They look like Karen Carpenter. I mean, they look terrible. I look great and natural because I did it with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. They can help you no matter where you're located in the United States. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call and set up your free consultation. You can lose, there we go, now I can do it. You can lose 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 60 days with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Here's the number, 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. All right. Let me see. What time is it? You know what, Mike? Let's take this break. I know it's a few seconds early, but let's take this break. We'll take it actually 30 seconds early, and we'll be back on time. If you're on hold, stand by. Every line on the board is lit. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be right back. All right, I'll take a call or two during the break. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, how you doing, Brian? My name is Jake, and I am calling from New Jersey.
Jake in Jersey. What's up?
Not much, man. Not much. Calling. I saw you on YouTube. I was
welcome.
Wanted to have a conversation.
Sure. Make sure you subscribe. All right. What do you want to converse about?
No, absolutely. No, I was curious on the conversation you were having with the guy before
about the food.
About Trump. He was abysmal. I didn't think he had anything good to say. But I mean, some of your counterpoints were kind of whack too, in my opinion, of course.
Okay.
Listen. I'm not. I want to make it clear. I'm not a liberal.
All right. What whack opinion did I share? Share my whack opinion. One of them, the wackiest.
Well, I just disagreed with the argument of you can go to Little Caesars.
Yeah.
And yes, there is a sound on. To a degree, I 100%. If you're low income or if you're just starting out, you're gonna have to grind. You're gonna have to accept you're not gonna have the top tier food options. And if you want those food options, you're gonna have to work a little bit harder or find resources. I do agree with that to an extent, but I do also believe that there is.
He hung up. He disconnected himself, guys. I'm sure he didn't mean to. He sounds well-meaning and all. He can call back. I think he hit the thing on his phone because he was nervous. That's okay. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian.
Yes.
It's Amos from Pennsylvania. Thanks for answering my call.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for calling. What's on your mind?
2017, when Trump started his first trade war with China, it affected the soybean industry to the tune where China realized that America was not a stable partner. So they invested heavily across South America into Brazil and Argentina, and that's where they're buying their soybeans.
Okay.
So a $20 billion bailout to Argentina was a back-end bailout for hedge fund managers.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Was that a good thing for America first?
I don't think about it. Let me ask you this question. This serious question, because you guys, hold on a second. You guys on the left are obsessed with soybeans. What do I eat that's dependent on soybeans?
Basically everything else.
Like what? Like what would I have eaten today that is dependent upon soybeans?
Well, I'm not exactly sure.
Oh, then why? If you're not sure, why are you worried about soy? Why are you so concerned about soybeans if you don't know what they're for?
Well, I'm not necessarily concerned about soybeans.
Well, you brought them up. Why don't you share a concern with something you know about?
American farming. That's basically what
soybeans, but you don't know what soybeans are used for or how we consume them or anything. Maybe it's a good thing that we don't have the soybeans. It seems.
So it's a good thing that farmers.
Well, I've heard a theory. I've heard a theory. Hold on a second. We're in a break. We're gonna be back in 20 seconds. So stand by. When we get back from this break on the radio, we'll continue this conversation. All right, you hang in there. Okay, you hang in there. All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Davis from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Pennsylvania. You were telling me you have this concern about soybean prices, and I'd asked
No, Brian. Sorry, I asked you. It's not the concern isn't about soybeans.
Oh.
The concern is a decision by a president who started a failed trade war, and because of those actions now is affecting farmers.
Okay. Let me ask you. Have you been? Hold on a second. Have you just? Okay, hold on. Have you recently come out of a coma?
No.
Okay. Have you been incarcerated in a jail for the last year where they have no access to television or news or internet?
No.
Okay. The reason I ask is because you're this is a call from like 8 years ago. We just won the global trade war. President Trump with the reciprocal tariffs, we just won the international trade war with everyone.
Oh, nice. So prices will be coming down any day now.
Prices are coming down on things all over the place. And inflation.
How about coffee, Brian? You drink coffee every day. How's the price of coffee?
For my Starbucks coffee, I'm paying the same that I was paying for it a couple years ago.
Brian, do you go to the store and buy coffee?
No.
Do you buy coffee beans? No.
Nope. I go to Starbucks every day. But in my Starbucks is the same price it was a couple years ago. But
oh, nice.
Yeah.
So coffee beans have not gone up in price, though.
Well, I don't know. I just know I don't worry about the beans. I just go to Starbucks and get a venti hot blonde Americano, and it's the same price.
Informing yourself.
Yeah, same price.
Yourself about the failed policies and the failures of the president that you support. So
the policies. I will tell you though that President Trump. Oh, he hung up. Why did he hang up? It was just getting good. I guess he was losing. Hold on. Let me see where I'm at right now. Hold on. What do I got to do here? Okay. We're good to go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning, Brian. This is Jessica.
Hey, Jessica.
It is so disappointing to listen to this 40-year-old men that are calling you this morning about nonsense topics and things that are not, a matter of the American people today.
Well, let me tell you that with the last caller,
their parents have done a really bad job.
Oh yeah, I've been doing a lot of
really good men.
I've been on the air for 2.5 hours now, and I've given a lot of fatherly advice on the lines this morning. But I'll tell you, I was going to get into this with the soybean caller. He was obsessed with soybeans, and let me tell you, soybeans are one of the biggest problems we have in this country. You hear the term soy boy. The reason we have so many liberal, girly men that I'm not saying they're not straight, but men have been turned into women. These millennials and Gen Z is because of so much soy that they're consuming. And the soy is giving them too much, I don't know, feminine things. And could you imagine what it would be like to be a college-age girl and trying to find a boyfriend these days to marry? I mean, they're girls.
It will be extremely difficult for someone even like me that, to look for a man. Like, it's so disappointing to hear them speak and what they're worried about. Like this last caller asking you about the soybean and all that stuff. Do you know that food prices are going down. It all depends the state that they're calling from. For example, in California,
prices have gone down on some things. I understand that some beef is expensive, but with President Trump, prices have gone down, not on everything, but on a lot of things. And President Trump has stopped. President Trump has stopped inflation on food. But there has been massive inflation, my guess is, on the illegal drugs, cocaine, heroin, fentanyl, because he closed down the border and he's shooting the drug boats out of the water.
Absolutely, and they act like if it was President Trump's fault that inflation is affecting all of us. No, it is not his fault. He's actually trying to stop it, and they don't seem to comprehend that.
Yeah, I mean,
if you go to Walmart, listen, I go to Walmart all the time. If you go to Walmart, eggs are going down, rice is going down, oil, water, milk. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
Everything that affects us also. But as I said to you, it all depends on the state where you live, because gas prices in Florida are cheap. But in California, there's like $6, $7, so they should be blaming their governors, not President Trump.
Correct.
So what affects them directly has nothing to do with Trump, but their governors, their mayors, their women that are, not taking decisions that are for the benefit or their citizens in their state. These people are so naive. I mean, it is so. I find it disgusting and repulsive the way that these men sound.
Yep.
Seriously.
I agree.
So disappointing.
No, I agree. I mean, it's amazing how many of these liberal guys have called me this week about the price of soybeans. I guess they need their soy boy fix. What's happening is they're getting red pilled by listening to me, and they need more and they need more soybeans to get back to get blue pilled. I guess.
It's like they live in an alternative universe. I don't know, Brian. They don't live in a real world. They sound like they live in that utopia, like that guy from Thailand. I love the way that you schooled him in what it is to be a man. And that's where you know the difference between a Republican man and a liberal stupid man. Like
That's
that
right.
guy from Thailand.
Why do American men move to Thailand and the Philippines?
My God. I mean,
sex.
Every morning, like,
sex. That's the only reason they go.
Oh, well, you know what? But you know what? That guy left his family, small children, when they need their father the most.
And he's got a Thai wife now, he said.
Yeah.
In Thailand.
So disgusting.
And he hates ice. I do not believe he went to Thailand and married an older woman. I don't believe that. Do you?
No, me.
Please.
No, me neither.
Give me a break.
Me neither.
He'd be the first, unless he's really ugly and really fat and doesn't have a lot of money. If he's fat and ugly and broke, maybe.
And those women, they're dying to come to the United States, so they'll do anything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They earn that green card. You take care. Yeah, those women are earning their keep. I promise you that. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Patty from New Jersey. How are you?
All right, Patty.
Hey, so I was just wondering. Late last night, one of the podcasters that I watch came on late last night and said something about President Trump has notified Congress of an armed conflict.
Correct. That is true.
And I was just wondering. Did you hear about that?
Absolutely.
And what is that all about?
It's
it's
against the cartels. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that awesome? Yeah. I guess he's required to notify Congress. So he did. He notified them. He didn't ask them. He notified them.
Yep. And it's amazing how it's happening now that the government's shut down, and I wonder if he planned it that way.
They like to talk. You want to talk about. I promise you. The illegal street drugs prices have had to go through the roof. Between him shooting the traffickers' boats out of the water and shutting down the border, you can get marijuana probably the same because you can like get that online, right? But I'm talking about fentanyl, cocaine, heroin, all those illegal drugs. the prices have had to go through the roof because Trump has shut down the drug trade. I bet you there's like
supply and demand.
I bet you the inflation on illegal drugs is through the roof, which is a good thing. You know, that inflation will get people clean.
Yep. Either that or it's gonna. We better lock everything up because people are gonna be stealing like crazy to try to support that habit. But,
yeah.
But yeah, no, this guy is not letting any grass grow under his feet, and I just love it. And you know what? And
you know, a lot. You know, they were some people were commenting the other day. Oh, Trump looks tired because he's working 20 hours a day.
Of course, he's going to be tired.
He's working. He is working harder and longer than. You know, I was talking earlier that last month I did 119 live streams on YouTube. I didn't know that till this morning. YouTube gives me all this information.
Wow.
And I work so much, but I'm inspired by Trump. You know, I mean, he never stops, so I can never stop.
Yep, but you can't. If you're a journalist, you can't stop because he never stops. And if you
That's
stop
right.
for a second, you're not going to be up on the current news.
Exactly.
You know, it's just the guy just doesn't. He ceases to amaze me every day, and I just thank God that we are where we are today, as opposed to where we could have been. And you know, and I have to say, I commend you for. I mean, it seems like I've been listening to you for a long time. And yeah, the liberals before, you know, when Biden was in office, you know, they would call in and they would give you a hard time and stuff like that. But they are in overdrive right now. They just cannot help themselves, and they're just they don't know where to go.
Well, you know, they're coming to me. You know what I feel like today? I feel like I've been I have a hotline, you know, the soy boy hotline. And I've been getting all these soy boys that have been calling me since 5:15 this morning, desperately looking for a strong father figure to correct them, and they can't handle it.
Yeah, and then when you try to correct them or try to give them some advice, they just, you know, they try to find whatever little testosterone they have in their system to try to make them.
Do you think that that guy that called in from Thailand that left his wife and young children, do you think he went to Thailand and married an older Thai wife? I've never heard of that happening before.
You know what? There's another YouTuber out there. He's a law tuber, and he lives over there. And that's all he talks about.
Is what?
Is the women over there?
That's why they go. That's why they go to Thailand.
Yep, and it's an ego thing because they think they're going to go over there and they're all going to throw themselves at their feet because they're Americans. And, you know,
you know what's happened is so many guys have gone to Thailand and the Philippines, and they do YouTube channels. Come over here, get a young wife, and have sex all the time. So many guys have done it. There's more guys than there are women. So it's you know what I mean. So it's harder for these guys to meet the young hot wives anymore. So they have to go to stranger places and older women. Hey, listen, I got to run, but I appreciate the call. All right, take care. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. There's one opening on the board at 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're listening. It is open phones on Fridays, open MAGA Mike Friday. And on Fridays, you can call in about any and everything you have on your mind. The show prep is up to you. And I got to tell you, the phone calls have been very high quality today. You guys have been doing a good job. And let's keep that going. Steve will be joining us after the top. We'll go back to the phones. And we got a lot more to share, too. 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll take our break for the top of the hour. Come back with Steve Kane, your calls, and I haven't even gotten to 2% of my show prep for today, but that's okay. Show prep's up to you. We'll be right back. Hey there. Hey. Hey, good. Hold on. Let me put you on hold. Hold on. Okay. All right. Steve, you there?
I'm here.
Okay. All right. We're in break. Oh my gosh. The calls today are...
I've been listening with great amusement.
Oh my gosh. I started at 5:15 this morning.
How are these hours agreeing with you?
The calls are good. Calls are good. The guy from Thailand. Oh my goodness. A guy called in. He left his wife and young children. He lives in Thailand now. Liberal. Hates Trump.
Obviously a liberal.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm just waiting for them to tell me what time we're going to be back.
All right.
Okay, 50 seconds. Wait, what? 50 seconds.
All right.
Hold on, put you on hold for a second. Okay. Are you there, Steve?
Yes.
Okay.
Am I with you?
Yeah. We're in.
Can you
break.
hear me?
Yeah. Hold on.
Oh.
20 seconds. All right, the third hour has begun. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Steve Kane joining us. Hey, Steve.
Good morning, Brian.
Oh my goodness, it's been some day.
How are you on this fine day?
I'm doing well. You know, this is actually it's the third hour, but it's actually I started at 5:15 this morning with the show, taking calls. And out of all of our open MAGA Mike Fridays, this has been one of the best. The callers today have been top shelf, high quality calls. I must say, with some very thoughtful people in the audience. All right, so it's so far so good. Yeah, do you want to go back to the phones?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay. If anybody knows though, there's an inflation question I have. Since President Trump is blowing the drug cartel boats out of the ocean and he shut down the border, is the price of fentanyl, cocaine, and heroin, is the inflation hitting those drugs pretty hard? I would imagine there's high inflation on illegal drugs because of Trump. That's a good thing. That's the kind of inflation we want. So if anybody knows how inflation has hit those things, I would welcome the call. All right, let's go. You're on the air. Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Pete in Oakland Park. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, sir. I wanted to know if I read a couple things, and I don't know what's false and what's true sometimes on these internet things, but the judge that's going to oversee the Comey trial, I read somewhere he's a Biden appointee.
The current judge is a Biden judge. The current judge, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I just that concerns me, you know.
Well, you know
how the left works, but anyway, so
it hasn't gone to trial yet. Don't worry, Trump's in charge. You think Trump? You think Trump does? You don't think Trump knows that?
Oh, he knows it. He knows exactly what's going on. He knows a lot more than I do. That's for sure. But I just because that's the reason I call and ask, because I'm not, I try to stay up on
listen. Every federal judge at this day and age is either going to be a Clinton judge, an Obama judge, a Trump judge, but he's only had one term so far. He's in his second. A Biden judge, and there might be some old-time Clinton judges around. So, I mean, the chances of getting a Trump judge are not in your favor when you go to the federal courts.
But
What's the
but
problem?
our boy, he's trying to. Our boy's trying the best to change all that. I'm so happy. You know, I'm really proud of, and excited on what I see going on.
Absolutely.
All this waste and all this bought and paid for judges and politicians. I'd like to see it all gone, and he's trying his best. So
well, let me tell you something. Huh? This Comey indictment was brought about by the president himself. This did not come from Pam Bondi. He got it done through that. And I promise you that they're doing investigations to find out what kind of connections this judge has to Comey. And I bet you they're not that far removed. So I don't expect this to be the trial judge.
Well, let's hope not, because you know how that goes.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were a little bit biased, you would expect that, but they're over the top biased.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at all that stuff that went on up there in New York with Trump, and they weren't even on Trump's part. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So, well, it's good to hear from you. Take care. Thanks for the call.
Have a great weekend. Bye.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right. You missed your chance. All right. We'll try another one. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Archie in the Huron National Forest.
You're in the forest?
I live in the Huron National Forest.
Okay.
Yep. I've got private property boxed out there from years and years from the logging days.
Okay.
And I got Huron National. All right, so quick observation. I haven't called before, but I just wanted to. I've got Pluto TV, and I scan around, and I've got all the news programs from all around the country. Oh my gosh! If you haven't heard San Francisco news, they are talking about the Super Bowl and about how Trump is trying to censor artists and things and opinions and people's beliefs and everything.
Yeah.
They are so tone deaf to.
I think let me help you out. Okay, what came out through Corey Lewandowski, who is the boyfriend of the Homeland Security Secretary, I think he dropped something that he wasn't supposed to drop about the Super Bowl. Did you hear this, Steve?
Yeah, I heard what you said.
Corey Lewandowski, they have this transgender Spanish-speaking Puerto Rican singer that's going to sing at the halftime at the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and Corey Lewandowski said, because his fan base is Spanish-speaking, ICE is going to be at the Super Bowl looking to round up illegals for deportation.
I love it.
I can't wait. I hope they show that on TV. Be the highest rated Super Bowl ever.
Do we get to watch?
I hope so.
What a halftime show.
I don't know. I gave up the NFL after Keith Olbermann and all that, and sometimes I see it when I pop in and out of businesses, but I don't have cable. I boycotted cable TV about 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Because all that money went to ESPN, and it went to all the libtard news stations, whether you had a premium package or not.
Okay. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call, and welcome to the show from the woods. He's calling from that's our first call from a forest. We've gotten calls from people in jail. We've gotten calls from people out in the ocean. I don't think we've gotten a call from a forest.
We've gotten calls from people who are in outer space.
Yes, we have. Yeah, literally. All right. Now let's take some more calls. What the heck? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Greg.
Oh, hey, Greg.
Listening
Greg, how are you?
To your show today. Hey, good, Steve. I'm glad the solutions we're talking about on your show about cost of food, that the solution is go eat fast food. Is that what it is?
No, a guy called in and he was complaining about the high cost of food. And when I was telling him, Steve, when I first started in radio, I made $5 an hour and I never went hungry. I went to Taco Bell, I got a bunch of tacos. I would go and you can go to Little Caesars today and get a pizza for $5. It'll feed you for the day.
You cannot. Where are you? What world are you living in? Reality?
Well, you may not.
$5 pizzas.
Yeah, Little Caesars.
And by the way, wait. Let me. You know what? But here's your solution. Do you know? By the way, you're a supporter of Bobby Kennedy, correct?
Sure.
Right. And do you know what his thoughts are on fast food, the carcinogens, the preservatives, and that is your suggestion to eating?
Well, what I'm telling you is that if you don't have, if you have just a little bit of money, you can have a full belly. You just have to eat lower quality food.
What happens if you have, let's say, 2 children, and that's the solution? By the way, obesity and diabetes.
You know, there's a church down the street from my house. They give away groceries every week. The line's around the block with cars. You know, there's food banks.
To that previous
there's
caller.
EBT.
You just threw out. You threw out Taco Bell. You threw out pizza.
Well, I told him what I did when I didn't make much money. I went to Taco Bell and places like that, and I ate Kraft macaroni and cheese. I love that. Oh yeah.
Greg, let me ask you a question. Greg, hang on for a second. Are you eating any less than you did last year, say, at this time? Hello?
I don't buy certain items now because I think. Wait, let me speak. Let me finish. You asked me a question, you guys.
Yes, I'm waiting for an answer.
Buy now because. Okay, like for example, you go to Publix and buy a New York strip steak. It's outrageous. It's like $17.
What about caviar?
Hold on.
New York strip.
So what are you doing for food?
We're talking here for a moment.
Great.
I'm not talking.
I just want to know what you're doing for food now.
New York strip. Life's good.
No, I told you I don't eat the New York strip any longer.
Oh.
What do you
eat? First of all, I try to stay. When? Like last night for dinner, what did I have?
Hold on, is this a tough question?
I had chicken. I had chicken. I had fish, shrimp.
And one sitting?
And you survive.
No, not in one sitting. You asked me what I eat. By the way, tilapia is very affordable.
So eat tilapia. So what are you questioning about?
Yeah, exactly.
So eat fish.
What I'm saying is, Brian, you know what? Let me just say this about the food costs. Well, let me ask you a question about food. Trump, and by the way, Google it up. Prior to this call, I looked at it. Trump ran on lowering grocery prices substantially. There's multiple times. Look it up. Brian says he never ran on that.
Hold on one second. Just say, Brian, I'm having issues with it. I feel I just say, let me get a word in. I feel like I've had this call with you about 10 times before. You always got the same thing with your wife's grocery list. Does your thing ever change?
I don't know.
Steve, wait.
We got a break. We're up against the break. We're up against the break.
Have a great day, Steve.
Oh, he's surrendering. He's running away, Steve.
No, I'm not. You want to hold?
No. We're going to move on to the callers after the break. But you're griping about food. He's griping about food prices, and he's telling us he's feasting on shrimp. Sounds like life's good, Greg. All right, take care.
You listen.
Yeah, we do listen. That's your problem. I mean, the guy's eating shrimp, Steve, and he's complaining. Oh my goodness. It reminds me of remember when Dr. Oz was talking about the high price of what was that he had, crudité, whatever that weird exotic thing was. Wonder what's caviar doing, Greg? Caviar.
All I know is Greg calls in every show. He calls in
with the same thing.
Every show, once a week. The same thing, his wife's grocery.
You know another thing I used to do when I didn't have any money? I would make. My mom gave me a lasagna recipe. I'd make lasagna. I'd eat it for a week, and I used to.
Exactly.
My favorite thing still today that I cook. My mom has a chili recipe. I would make a big pot of chili, and I'd eat that for a week. You know what I mean? That's it.
Greg knows that. He just likes to complain.
All right, I'm going to put you on hold, Steve. We're going to take our break and be right back. Hey, Barry, hold on. Steve, you there? Steve? Steve, you there? Hey, hold on. Steve, you there? Okay, hold on. Yeah, hold on. All right, Barry, stand by.
Sure.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian Steve Caines here. It's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Brian, good morning. How are you today?
Good. Hope you had a good holiday yesterday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So what do you?
Hope everybody else who celebrated did as well.
Yeah, I don't know the proper greeting for the holiday. I'm sorry. But I'm sure you had a good day. So what do you have for us today, Barry?
Well, I want to tell you a story about a situation from a recent client meeting. An existing client who had done their planning with us a number of years ago had come in. Unfortunately, this gentleman had a medical issue, went to the hospital, and there was negligence, malpractice done there. It ended up causing him a lot more issues than he came into the hospital with, and also caused him to now have to be in a wheelchair the rest of his life, among many other issues.
Wow.
The man is probably early 50s, and he did win a settlement, but that's the money he's going to need to take care of himself, the rest of his life, because he's at a point where he's not working. He's actually on Social Security disability. Now, the thing is, we talk about elder law and the Medicaid on the show periodically, and generally the Medicaid is for people 65 and older, but there is an exception for those who are under 65 if they're on Social Security disability. We're going to be able to help this gentleman get the care that he needs without imposing on his settlement monies that he's going to need to take care of himself the rest of his life.
Wow.
So we are going to be able to help him not run out of money during his lifetime and get the care that he needs. And so it's very rewarding. It's very sad, the situation, but at least we're going to be able to get him the care that he needs, and he won't have to spend down his assets and worry about that. And that's really what Medicaid planning is all about, helping people not run out of money before they run out of life, helping people not leave their surviving spouse with nothing or very little, helping them maintain assets so they can leave an inheritance to their loved ones, and helping them just have that peace of mind that they're not out of money, not a burden on the family. I mean, that's just one of those things that, we all probably know somebody, maybe more than one person or more than one family, that may have been well off at one point in their lives, but for various reasons, and typically because of the cost of long-term care, their lifestyle has changed significantly because they didn't plan. They either didn't have long-term care insurance, or they didn't know about Medicaid planning, or even if they did, they jumped to the conclusion that a lot of people do is, oh, I have too much, I can't qualify, this is not for me, I'm going to ignore it.
That's
and
the worst.
Then you're going to spend down your assets and go broke.
Yeah, you touched on something I don't think we've talked about before, because, with you, we talk about elder law and stuff, but you're telling me that Medicaid planning, it's possible it'll help people that are on Social Security disability, which is that what you said?
Yeah, so it's one of the exceptions to. Typically, you have to be age 65 or older to qualify for the programs that we help people qualify for. However, for those who are under 65, if they are receiving Social Security disability, that's one of the exceptions, so that they could still qualify for Medicaid and get the care they need to take care of those activities of daily living.
That's great.
They need help with.
And you can help them with that. Yeah, we should talk about that from time to time, because I don't think we've ever talked about that before. And there's a lot of people in that situation that are struggling, and they could use the extra help at home, I'm sure. All right, listen, give the Siegel Law Group a call. Make sure you tell them you heard Barry on the Steve Kane Show so you can take advantage of that no-charge in-office consultation. 855-FLA-3782 is the number. 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk next week.
All right, have a great weekend.
All right, take care, Barry. All right, we're back. You back with us, Steve?
I am here. Are you there?
Yeah. I mean, what was? Do you know the Jewish holiday you guys had yesterday? I forgot what it was.
Yom Kippur.
Okay. Okay. So, do you wish someone a happy Yom Kippur? I don't know. What's the proper greeting for Yom Kippur? Do you know? Is there one? Is it in English?
I'm not quite sure.
I don't either. I have no idea either. All right, but today everybody is back. So our number is 888-465-2631. You know, just a couple of quick things here. This government shutdown is such a beautiful thing. And the few Democrats that are left, I mean, they are really doing some damage to themselves. And
I think most of the damage has been done. Donald set them up good, and they're coming apart at the seams.
Oh, no doubt. No
Couldn't
doubt.
happen to a nicer party.
Well, what's going to end up... Well, let's take some more calls, and then we'll get into all of that. But this is a great time to be a Republican. You're on the air. What's your name?
Sure is.
Where are you calling from?
Richard from Pompano.
Hey, Richard.
Hear me all right?
Go.
Okay, I'm probably going to change the subject here. I just want to say something. Someone I care about very much died yesterday, and I'm sort of in mourning. Goodall.
I'm sorry.
I'm sure you've heard of her, right?
The ape lady,
and,
Jane Goodall.
Yeah. She was a conservationist, and it wasn't just chimpanzees, but she was a great person. And
I'm sure
I
she
just
was.
want to know
So, what do you want to do a moment of silence or something, Vern?
For Jane Goodall?
No, I just had to. I don't know how to say it. I just want to.
Let me ask you a question. I mean, obviously, we all know who she is, and I always see a picture of her with a monkey. What did she? What was her number one accomplishment? What's the one thing she did that makes her a historical figure? Because I haven't heard anybody say that. I just keep seeing this picture of her in the grass with a monkey. I got no beef with her, but what did she do?
It's much deeper than that. She lived there in the jungle with them, and she proved that the monkeys are sentient beings, that they have feelings of loneliness, of fear, and if the mother is taken by a hunter and killed, they suffer. And
they do.
It's mostly cruelty to animals and cruelty to chimpanzees. She specialized in that, but she was a hero.
You know, I'll tell you, this may surprise you about me. I don't go to zoos and things like that. I'm a big animal lover. I know you are too, Steve. I mean, I guess I wouldn't say I'm liberal because I don't think it's a liberal thing, but I love animals and I'm against animals, and I think animals are much more intelligent than we accept.
Right. Well, I'm a Republican and I'm conservative, big time.
But I always get her confused. There was another conservationist. She's not the gorillas in the mist person.
Yes.
That's another person, isn't it?
No, that was Diane Fossey.
Yeah, Diane Fossey. She's the one that got killed by those intelligent apes. Right? Didn't the apes kill her?
No, there were hunters.
Fossey was killed by hunters?
Hunters, to stop doing
remember, Steve, wasn't there was one ape lady, maybe it was in New York, that got her face ripped off by the gorilla or something. Remember this? One of those
remember that. That was grotesque.
Yeah,
that was a fully grown chimpanzee.
Okay, and I remember it was in the New York Post. So I don't know but she got her face ripped off.
That's the one. Yeah, the chimpanzee, the older ones, their teeth keep growing and growing, and they're powerful, extremely powerful.
But if they're intelligent and sentient and all that stuff, and so sweet and kind, why'd they rip that woman's face off?
Having a bad hair day again.
Something went wrong.
Something went wrong. Okay, all right.
Something went wrong. We shouldn't laugh.
I'm not laughing. Everybody likes Jane Goodall. I got no beef with Jane Goodall. I just don't know of, like, I know I guess they say she was a conservationist. I don't know. All right. Now let's take another call. It's open phones. It's fine. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Joellen from Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, hey, Joellen.
Hi there. I just came in on the conversation with Greg. Hi, Steve. I just came on the conversation with Greg and the high prices of food. Again, I'm going to say prices are not going down. Some things are, but I would just suggest to Trump and his cabinet when they have those meetings, do not mention that prices are going down, because it just is not, for maybe sales and stuff, but for the most part, it is not a fact. And so I think it just, when I have to run into these people when I have my Trump hat on and they talk about food, I say I have to agree with you, but I didn't vote for him for food.
No, Joan, listen. Some things have gone down. Okay,
some things have gone down.
Let me finish. Some things have gone down. Okay, but for the most part, Trump has stopped the inflation, and I'll tell you where I see he stopped the inflation, and I'll tell you 3 things where I've noticed it's gone down. Well, 4 things. My Twizzlers and jelly beans. That's my vice, Steve. Twizzlers and jelly beans. Okay.
That's your go-to casual food.
That's right. Those have gone down. I also noticed I was looking 6-pack bottled Mick Ultra has gone down almost $3 in the last year.
That's good stuff.
I love Mick Ultra, and it's gone down almost $3, $2 and something a 6-pack bottled. And the other thing that I get a lot when I go to Publix is I get the 8-piece fried chicken. That's gone down in price in the last year, and the rotisserie chicken's gone down. I've noticed that's the kind of stuff I buy. Now, I know that some things have not everything, but the inflation has stopped, and some things are going down.
Okay. All right. Yeah, some things are going down. I hope that continues, but I think that they should just not talk about food prices going down, because a lot of people, they don't see it. They don't see it.
Well, then anyway, it's in what you buy. And where you shop.
My cottage cheese has gone down 19 cents. Publix almonds, 2 for $9.
Well, let me tell you, I shop at Publix. Okay, my daughter shops at Trader Joe's. And she's trying to get me and my mother to do our. It's like so cheap. And Publix is the highest priced grocery store. It's hard. You really, you shouldn't be comparing. Publix is expensive. Okay, I shop there. It's more expensive than every other store out there. Aldi, Winn-Dixie, Walmart, Trader Joe's. Publix is more expensive by a lot.
If you want to eat great and not spend a lot of money, our good friends at Wings Plus. And it's the football weekends and all that stuff.
Heck yeah.
Get a big bowl of those wings. You can live off them for a weekend.
Absolutely. Get the 50-wing platter. But, with the mistake you're making, Joellen, is a couple of things. One, Publix is the most expensive of the grocery stores. 2, there's nothing Trump can do to get a store to lower their prices. And once prices are up,
I understand that. I understand that, Brian. I do.
Yeah.
I understand it, but when he talks about it, I mean, we'll give it time. I say we'll give it time, but
I'll tell you what that tells me. Trump does a lot of food buying, because he's in the resort business. So he's buying food wholesale for his resorts and his hotels and all this stuff, and the White House. So, you're talking. He sees food prices through the wholesale end. You and I shop at Publix, which is the most expensive place. Now, I shop at Publix. I always have, and I don't go, but it's the highest. It's the most expensive place.
But there's so many Publixes out there, and they're so convenient for everybody. Trader Joe's, all these is sub-quality. It's some things. I go there. I go there often because
I look at things. I look at things that I buy at Publix, like Coke, right? Canned Coke. It's like so much cheaper at Walmart, but I still go to Publix. You can't. You and I are going to a boutique. Publix is a boutique grocery store. I know you don't think of it that way, but it's the most expensive grocery store. If you look at Walmart and compare it to Publix, I'm telling you, on the items that are the same, like Coke and Lay's potato chips and things that are exactly the same, and even compare the beef prices. Joellen, we gotta run. We gotta run. Hey, Steve, let's finish up that message for Wings Plus.
Yeah. Wings Plus up in Coral Springs, and they have the most incredible wings you have ever tasted in the world. Plump, juicy, delicious. In fact, everything on their incredible menu is wonderful and very appreciated this time of year with football season. People watch the games, the college games on Saturday and the pro games on Sunday, and enjoy the great food. A little trick I'll teach you, if you want to not stand online and wait for anything, what you do is order, and when you're watching the football game on Sunday, or I watch Sundays, and what I do is before the game starts, I put in my order for the wings for the whole party, who's ever invited it over, and it's economical, it's delicious, it's fabulous. You order the wings before the game starts, you pick them up at halftime, there's no wait, you just stick your head in the door and say, hey, Steve can't send me, and don't charge him to my account, but tell him we sent you by. You're going to really enjoy your game. It's the best wings.
Well, I'll give you the number. I'll give you the number. Now, Wings Plus is in Coral Springs, about a mile west of University Drive on the south side of Sample Road. He's a good MAGA guy. He loves the police. You'll see. If you've never been in before, it's like, you'll as soon as you walk in.
The place with the politically elite meet.
Yeah, and the phone number, if you want to call and order for Wings Plus, is 954-752-4460. 954-752-4460. All right, I'm going to put you on hold, Steve. We'll take our break and be right back. All right, Steve, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. We just went to break. We got 2 minutes, and we'll be back. 2 minutes.
Okay.
Let me put you on hold for a second. Hold on. Okay. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hold on.
You got me?
Yeah. Okay, we got 1 minute. We'll be back. One more. I gotta put you on hold one more time. Last time. Okay. All right. You there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I got you. About 30 seconds. All right. We've had really good calls today. This is one of the better open phone Fridays. All right. 30 seconds. All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. I just wanted to say a couple things before we go back to the phones.
Okay.
President Trump is about to do a big firing spree. He's already let go 157,000 workers permanently from the federal government. And I was talking about this earlier before you joined in. He met with that Russ Vogt guy yesterday, who's the director of the Office of Management and Budget from Project 2025, Heritage Foundation or something. And what they're doing, and this is so important, and they're going to, people are going to be furloughed, but they're going to do permanent layoffs and firings. And these are going to be targeted to these people in the bureaucracy that have been stopping the agenda. We talk about the deep state and stuff, all right? But it's a lot of these clerks and bureaucrats working in cubicles in these big government agencies that stop the executive orders from being carried out and processed and things like that. And I think that they're doing some very targeted firings. And what this really is some deep, deep swamp draining that he's going to be doing during this shutdown, and it's going to move the agenda forward. All right, let's go to the calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jerry, I can speak to Steve for 30 seconds.
Yes,
go ahead.
Speak up, though. Speak up, though.
Okay.
I'm here, sir. Go ahead.
I called before. Just real quick, when Greg calls you, for some reason, I get crazy. Eggs were $8 a gallon. $8 a gallon with Joe Biden. They're $2 in Manhattan right now. Right now, they're $2. I went to Boca Raton. The same exact thing with the gas is $2.83. With Joe Biden, it was $4.38. It's almost 50% down. When Greg's talking about food prices, he's out of his mind. You can go to the Outback Steakhouse and you can have a 3-course meal for $15. Everything Greg said is so wrong. Is he a lawyer or is he in a mental institution? That's my last question.
Okay. All right.
Is he a real
Maybe that's a rhetorical question.
Yeah, well, you can be both. You can be an insane lawyer. All right. Okay. All right, let's take some more calls. What the heck? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, gentlemen. Chris from Pompano Beach.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hi. It's interesting. Yes, thank you. Looking forward to it. The family's coming in from New York for my mother's birthday, which is today.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's a nice 84 today, so I'll be entertaining them.
Great.
Unfortunately, they're listening to all day long up there, but I won her over. My mother was basically a 60s Democrat, but she's come around, but unfortunately all they hear up there in New York is the negative.
Yeah.
But I just want to chime in on the grocery because, I shop at 4 different places. And like most people, I love Publix for certain things. I get their weekly mailers and all that. And, well, of course, they hope to get you to shop for your entire grocery list, but you do that, it will cost you a small fortune.
Yep.
But I go there for certain things. And just like I go to Aldi for certain things.
Like the BOGOs. The BOGOs.
Right. And like you said, it's different seasons. You're a young adult, raising family. I'm no longer raising a family, so I don't go to Costco anymore and things like that. But,
yeah.
And even out for convenience, buying my fast food here and there for convenience, I still think in my mind, for those same $10, I could have gotten a pack of bacon, I could have gotten a carton of orange juice. So yeah, I'm always thinking about, saving, and there's ways to do it. So this whole nonsense about any negativity about prices, that's bogus. The inflation's down, way down, and the prices on everything I buy every day on a daily basis are way down. So enough.
Well, listen, some things have gone down, some things haven't. But he stopped the inflation, and you can't make these stores lower their prices, But exactly. Once the price is up, it's very difficult. President Trump said this during the campaign. This was before the election. I can't remember which interview it was, and he says it's hard to get the prices down once they're up, but we'll stop the inflation. I heard him say it was a sit-down interview with one of the fake news people. I can't remember which one it was. Might have been Bartiromo, but it was a sit-down interview. And it was during the campaign, and I was surprised to hear him say it. But he's right. But he stopped the inflation.
So true. I'm glad you mentioned that. I do remember that. Absolutely.
If somebody remembers that interview and get it to me, and I'll play it on the air. I just forgotten. But it's so disingenuous. They don't care about. They just are looking for a reason to hate on Trump, right? Exactly. They don't really care about the food prices.
100%. Any little thing negative is ridiculous. Like, grow up, people. Mm-hmm. Trump is doing great for this country, and they need it as much as anyone else. Lefties need it more than we do.
That's right.
So they need to embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, have a great weekend, gentlemen.
All right, take care.
You too.
All right, take care. Take care.
Happy birthday to your mother.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to talk about coastal weight loss secrets since we're talking about food and all. And When I met with Coastal Weight Loss Secret and Dr. Zuckerman, I didn't even think this was possible because I thought this was just part of the age. I knew I could lose weight, but I thought when you were in your 50s, you just had a belly and that was it. I don't have a belly anymore. I got a flat stomach. And not only did I lose over 35 pounds and inches off my waist, but I lost my belly and I've got a flat stomach now. And I didn't even think that was possible. And it is, and it's great. And I can feel. This shirt I'm wearing used to be tight, and on my stomach. Now it's loose. It's amazing. I'm tucking my shirts in. I don't have my shirt tucked in now, but it's because I'm not out and about. I wasn't tucking my shirts in because I was trying to hide my belly, which I really wasn't doing. But listen, call Coastal Weight Loss Secret. My results are typical. You can lose 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 60 days. There's no medications. There's no shots. You don't starve yourself. I didn't have to exercise. And I eat foods I would normally eat. And we've been talking a lot about food, so you hear some of the things that I eat. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call and take advantage of that no-charge consultation. Book your no-charge consult right now. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightloss.secret.com. We'll be right back. All right, I'm going to put you on hold, Steve. I got to get William. Hold on. Hey there. Wait, hold on. Steve, you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Hold on one second.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, hold on. Hold on 1 second, Steve. Okay, Steve, you there?
I think so.
Yeah, I got you. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to conference in William. All right, stand by. We have just a few seconds. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, no, 30 seconds. I just got a 30-second. All right, welcome back, everyone. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve's here. I'm Brian, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with Friday's Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals looking?
Metals looking very good after yesterday's wild gyrations. The old saying, it's never easy to ride a bull, and a bull market we've seen is getting a little bit scary at times for people that are lighthearted. But we saw swings yesterday in the gold market from a low of $3,819 to a high of $3,898, just $2 away from the $3,900. But at one point we were down $45. At another point we were up $30, and we closed down $9.30, which was quite a recovery from a $3,819 low to $3,855.50 on the close. Silver was down 32 cents at $46.93, but that was after it hit a high of $48.09. So I mean, we've had some wild moves in these markets.
Wow.
Silver, platinum gained $12, closing out today at $1,573, and palladium was down $8 at $1,231. Overnight, we saw gold trade in a range of 38.37 on the low, all the way up to 38.69, and that's about where we're at, 38.68.50 right now, up $13. Silver up 77 cents right now at $47.70. Platinum up $22 at $1,595, and palladium up $19 at $1,250. So
wow.
The markets are still doing very well. The dips that we see, they come very quickly and don't give us a great buying opportunity a lot of times in the middle of the night. But the market still is trending higher, and just saying, if you're sitting on the sidelines waiting for a correction, you may be waiting for a correction at a much higher number.
Yeah, with both gold and silver? I mean, because these prices are just fantastical.
Yep. Gold and silver performing very well, very strong.
Let me ask you. You know, a listener had asked me this, so I'm gonna ask you. Don't call me with any questions about metals. Call William Youngerman's, okay? But we were talking about buying things the other day, and they'd asked me, and I know the answer, but I want you to talk about this. You know, if you have old jewelry and such, they could be worth a lot of money today with the prices of these metals. But what about watches and like rings that have diamonds and such? Do you buy that kind of stuff too?
Absolutely, yes. We buy diamonds and of all sizes and shapes. We buy watches, all of the top brand watches, and we have beautiful deals on watches also, so they don't last long because we give everybody a great deal on Rolexes, Patek Philippe's, and other super nice brand watches. But these can be purchased from us at good values, and we pay top dollar to get these watches. And so bring them on in. We'll be glad to give you a free appraisal.
Yeah, especially, you know, with these prices of the metals, a small ring that's a little bit of gold with a diamond in it could be worth quite a bit at these prices. William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. His address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. You can give him a call toll-free, 1-800-327-5010, 800-327-5010. And you can find both his address and phone number on his website, williamyoungerman.com, williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk on Monday.
Okay, have a great weekend.
All right, take care. I tell you, Steve, we're at the countdown. We're going to hit 4,000 gold and $50 silver. It's like going to happen. I mean, it's crazy.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, you know, this has been, this week of Trump is what I would call the week of winning.
Oh, it's been unbelievable. And also the reverse of that, it's the week of losing for Democrats. They look so stupid, and they can't get out of their own way.
Yeah. I know. Oh, yeah, I know. Steve, I'm gonna put you on hold for a second while I answer these calls. We've got like 200 calls coming in. Okay, hold on. All right, you back with me, Steve?
I'm with you.
Okay, good. If you're on hold, stand by. I mean, it started with on Monday, Trump met with Netanyahu, gave that great 20-point peace plan to the Palestinians, which they haven't. Have they responded yet? I mean, it's a pretty good offer.
I think they're indicating they're getting ready to accept, but I don't think it's official.
Yeah, well, they should. I mean, they're all going to be rich. They're going to get their Palestinian state, get Gaza completely rebuilt. They only have
and if
one.
they don't do it quick, they're going to get their clock cleaned.
And there's only one condition. You got to stop killing Jews. That's all. Stop killing Jews, and you have everything.
Doesn't sound unreasonable to me.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten less for, that's not a big ask. Stop killing Jews. I mean, it's not a big ask. But that's how the week started on Monday, and it's just been the complete week of winning. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm from Coconut Creek. I just want to mention something. All my outlets that I go to, all the news, everybody says liberal, progressive. Nobody says Democrat. The Democrats have blood on their hands. It's the voter. Nobody says that. It's all left, Democrat, liberal. You should start saying who they are. Democrat. They're causing the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have one more thing to say, if you don't mind. The person that called in this past week about Pete Hegseth about being an alcoholic, well, that lowlife should find out what that man's background is, because he's a combat veteran. And I'm sure he has some sort of PTSD somewhere. And somehow, because I've been through it myself, it takes drugs or alcohol to get you past it for a while, but you got to work on it yourself.
No, let me tell you where that story comes from. They just made it up. Some liberal made up a story that he was drunk on the air on Fox, which is just totally made up, and they just parrot it. All right, come on. And so he, that's where that started. Now, so far as in private life, there is only one man that I know of who's never been drunk. You know who that is? One man. Only one man I know of.
Donald Trump.
Correct.
Donald Trump.
Do you know, because of his brother, but hold on a second. Do you know, listen to this, Steve, and I missed this. The president just met with King Charles. King Charles brought in some special wine from that in honor of President Trump's mother. It had some connection with his mother and everything. He wouldn't even sip the wine. He wouldn't let the wine touch his lips, Donald Trump. There's not another man I know that has not been intoxicated at some point in my life. I know I have. That's our cruises, if you've been on the cruises.
Yeah, it took me 10 years.
Really?
But anyway, if you can mention Democrat, because they are the problem. They're the ones that are voting for the idiots.
Yes. Okay.
And they do have blood on their hands.
They do.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. No, but then, so we started with that, and it's just been a great week. I tell you, the week of winning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, hey, what's up? It's Jules in New York. How are you?
All right. What's up?
I want to say good morning to Steve as well. And Steve, I talked to you about, what's his name? Oh my God, I forgot his name now. I'll forget it. Anyway, I'm calling to respond to Greg and
the food. The guy eating shrimp. Yeah, his New York strip and shrimp prices have gone up. Poor baby.
Oh, not for nothing. Steve, she's got to learn how to watch sales. My parents were born in 1917 and 1924. I was born in 1965, so I just turned 60 last month. My mother taught me how to shop for sales, and she would always say, watch those sales. And I'm looking at a ShopRite flyer here. We got bone-in New York strip steak, $8.99 a pound. Save, I think it's $3 a pound on it. Also bacon, $3.99 for a 12-ounce package. Nothing's a pound anymore for that. We got fresh premium Atlantic salmon, $6.99 a pound. So if you looked at a flyer and bought things like even tuna fish, 12 cans of tuna, a big name brand tuna fish, 12 for $12. I don't understand. Watch the sales, circle what's on sale, and stock up on soups and tuna and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So you always have it. And people don't understand
You
that.
know, another place that I've noticed the prices have come down is on lunch meat.
Where's that?
Lunch meat prices have gone down.
Oh, yeah. Listen, my son is a supervisor in a deli in a small family-owned grocery store now. He's young. He's the same age as Emily. He's doing that for now because he's trying to figure out where he's going to go in life. But he became a supervisor from cutting cold cuts. And everything's gone down. It used to be, $4.99 for ham. And that's, we have boar's head. Do you have boar's head down there?
Of course.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I love boar's head.
Hey, Steve.
Hey.
Do you know?
Gary Stevens, I was trying to think. Gary Stevens, WMCA Good Guys. But
Gary Stevens? What the heck?
Yeah, so.
Is that the same one
My
that
sister went on a date date with him.
Is that the guy that we used to work with?
I don't know. No, we talked about this. No, he's from New York, and he was on the WMCA. Good
Okay,
Guys.
you know, in radio, half the guys have two first names like me, so I know like three Gary Stevens, but
right, there's Harrison.
Yeah, listen, we're short on time, but you make some good points.
Thanks, Bri. Talk to you later. Have a good weekend, guys.
All right, take care.
Everybody.
Bye. What a nice lady. What a nice lady. You know, I want to talk about the Sloman Shield link. Steve, you got to get this Sloman Shield link. This is the coolest thing, right? The Sloman Shield link integrates everything in your house all together, all your smart devices, okay? It takes all your everyday routines and actions and connects the devices to react the way you want them to. So you want the TV to come on when you come home, it comes on. You want your music on when you come home, your music's on. You want to turn your thermostat up when you leave the house, it adjusts your thermostat all automatically. It can do whatever you want it to do. And it's all connected to your Sloman Shield. And here's the cool thing. It works on the devices you already have in your home. That's pretty amazing. I don't know how, but it does. And that's great. Sloman's also includes installation for all your devices. They offer 24/7 support. So if you need to troubleshoot a problem or you want to add something and it's Saturday night at 3:45 a.m., just call them and they'll do it for you. The number is 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050. You know, some of the frustration I have with these callers is what I mentioned earlier. They don't care about any of these things they're talking about. The guy that called me about soybean prices, the guy about tariffs, the grocery, they just want to hate on Trump. And I lose patience with them. If they would call in and say, I hate Trump because he did this or he did that, we could have a discussion. But it's hard to take these people seriously when they bring up the big liberal SOS is to mention Jeffrey Epstein. When you get them up against the wall, Epstein list, book, Epstein. That's like, that's their go-to SOS. Just to
have a little compassion in your heart. I mean,
are you kidding me?
Suffering.
Forget that.
They're really getting clobbered.
4 years of lawfare against. They shot the president, Steve. They shot him when he was because he was running again. Everything Trump is doing right now is why they shot him, to stop him from doing it in Butler. Okay, so no, I can't go easy on these guys. They have made him suffer, and I have no sympathy for these Democrats. None, less than zero. But I only will disagree with President Trump on one thing and one thing only, and that is I don't get sick of winning. He says you'll get sick of winning. No. I do not get sick of winning, and it feels good, and you got to enjoy. But did you see the press conference with J.D. Vance a couple days ago?
Yes, I've been watching all of them.
Was he not impressive? He had the fake news press laughing at his jokes. I couldn't believe it. He had him in the palm of his hand. He is a master politician, J.D. Vance. I've never seen a vice president have a press conference before. In the White House press.
When it comes to casting good people around him, nobody does it like Donald Trump.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's all the time we have for today. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Steve Kane, of course, has been here. My name is Brian Craig. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. God bless Charlie Kirk. And we'll see you Monday at 6 a.m. All right, guys, I'm going to continue for a little while longer. So if you want to call in, you're welcome to. We're clear now on the radio, so the language isn't I don't have to dump the profanity. So we could be a little looser on the phones. So, if you would like to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat. It's 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are tuned in from. There's a few things I want to share with you that I didn't get to. Well, a few clips here. And, look at that. Let me play. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll go to the phones in a minute. Here's Richard Gere. Richard Gere, he used to be an actor. Richard Gere. This is Richard Gere talking about our favorite president.
A few actresses that he named and actors that are worried about what's happening in the U.S. Are you worried?
Of course. No, I mean, we have a president who's he's not only crazy, he's a dark presence. And it's happened so quickly. 6 months, he's almost destroyed our country.
Wow, really? The country's almost been destroyed in 6... And hear a little weird accent from Richard Gere? What's that about? I used to like him. Anyway, that's Richard Gere, the American gigolo. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, hold on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yeah, what's up?
I'm not sure if you can. I can barely.
I can hear you fine. I can hear you. You're good.
Okay. All right. Let me.
Hold on. Let me answer these lines coming in. Hold on. All right. There you go. Yep. What's up?
Okay. That's better.
Good.
Yeah, it's Mike from Houston. How are you?
All right, Mike.
Yeah, I just about the thousands of federal employees that are going to be laid off or about to be laid off, whatever. I got to tell you, as a former government contractor, not really upset to see this happen. I have a lot of friends that are still up there working, as government employees, but I do worry for them. But the bottom line is, in a capitalist system, you have to keep yourself competitive in terms of your qualifications, your job skills, and that kind of thing. And most government employees, once they get that job, they just kind of sit on their laurels and they just
coast through life.
It's like a rising tide.
They coast through
life.
They
get promoted. Yeah, they do. They really do. And they also become really, what I would say, reality divorced from the economics that you and I have to deal with every day, because they're guaranteed cost of living increases. They get bumped. I think you go up 2 grades like every 3 years or something, until like maybe GS9, GS11. Then you have to have you have to meet certain qualifications. But even then, they're not that difficult to overcome.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, there's a little conflict. There's a part of me. It's like I said, I have friends still up there. There's another part of me that's saying, well, welcome to my world. Welcome to what I went through for 30 years. Never quite sure. 6 months from now, are you going to be employed? So, and like I said, we got to get the fat out of the system. And again, I hate to run these people down, but I would say easily 4 out of every 10 government employees we can do without. They're supernumeraries, and they're just excess, bloat on the federal budget. So
yeah,
anyway,
and on top of that is, since they allowed them to get unionized. They're in a huge lobby group because they're a massive voter bloc, and it's I don't think that the federal workers should be able to vote.
No.
That should be they're the biggest problem.
Well, I tell you what, when you see how they do, I cannot think in all my years up in Washington, I cannot think of a single Republican. There might have been closeted Republicans,
yeah,
but they were overwhelmingly leftist, and I mean way out there left. So I had to keep my mouth shut. I could never be sucked into a political conversation. I just kind of sit there, keep my mouth shut, and go about my business. So, but like I said, it's one of the things I love about President Trump, everything that he has achieved. I would have said, no way, can't do that. Can't cut the budget the way he has with Doge. He did. Can't cut the government staffing. He is.
Yeah.
Tariffs. Can't do tariffs. Yeah, he did. And so I know I've called in and talked about this before. I've just learned, let that guy drive. Okay, stop sitting in the back seat yammering. Let that man drive. And he's going to get you somewhere.
The things that he's doing, they've said they're all impossible. I mean, I just give you an example. This war on drugs. We've been hearing war on drugs since Reagan. It's just been a term, and he's blowing these boats out of the water with the drugs. And and there's really no outrage over it. I mean, how can you take issue with that? What he's doing is amazing.
Yeah, the drug thing, to me, that is the single greatest threat to this country to this day.
Yeah.
If you look at how the explosion in drug abuse, illicit drug abuse, has occurred over the last 20 years, and when you see in almost every case, homelessness ties back to drugs, criminality ties back to drugs. And I can't understand how Democrats can actually say, can sit there and say that this is a good thing. It just makes no sense to me. And so that's his. I have a feeling that's his next thing is the war on drugs and actually carrying through on it. But now we have control of our borders. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the next big achievement. But anyway, that's all I had to say, Brian.
All right, I appreciate the call.
Have a great weekend and love your show.
All right, take care. Take care. All right, let me answer these calls and we'll get back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Brian. It's JJ from Mass.
Hey, JJ.
You know, your comment just recently about, not letting the people in government vote. You know what? That may be a little bit too far, but I like that. I like that trend area there, and I'm thinking more along the lines of there shouldn't be no government employees should be allowed to serve on a jury involving anything that might be considered political.
Well, I'd meet you halfway on that. That's a good one. But the problem with it is they unionize. They let them unionize. And they're one of the most, the federal workers are one of the most powerful everybody talks about the Jewish lobby, the gun lobby, big tobacco. The Federal Workers Union is probably the most powerful lobby group in D.C.
Yes. And they only hire, we've talked about this before. In colleges, it was a very slow process where they just very slowly, they edged out the conservatives and the liberals would get control. And then all of a sudden, everybody's liberal. There's not a conservative in sight. It's the same thing in the government. That's what they've done in all aspects of the government, every agency. And they're just like, one of the things you mentioned earlier on the show is this Project 2025 thing, which I just love seeing Trump put that in there. It's sort of twisting the knife a little bit. But, listen, the Democrats, what do they knelt with what? Some kind of a scarf, a kente, some kind of African cloth. They all kneel down. They play this freaking
Kente
game.
is Kunta's last name in Roots.
There you go. It was the scarf. They all knelt for I don't know how many minutes. It was so freaking fake and disgusting. But it's sort of like, that was their, the Democrats have to have this victimhood pinata straw man that they can, that they can point to, the boogeyman, the victim yell, the rebel yell type of thing. And Trump just putting that in there is just like, that's basically such a gigantic slap across their face.
Wow.
I just love it. And he, listen, and why not? I want to do everything we can, everywhere we can, because I just don't want to give these guys a breath. I don't want to give them any chance of getting back up on their feet. I want the Democrat Party gone as we know it. And I just don't want to give them an inch. I have no sympathy for any of them. None.
No, I don't either. None. Look at what they've done. They're evil people. They're just evil people. Yep. All right.
And if we give them the chance, and listen, if these are the guys, if they get back in power.
Oh.
I've heard stories about there's the law firms that they're already trying. We're not even a year in, and they're already trying to plan about indictments. Writing up this and that, and it just we just can't. I can't see how they could get back into power. Because we're overwhelming them with registrations in the states. Did you hear about Did you hear about the ballots that were sent to somebody in a FedEx box up in Maine, Brian?
Yeah.
Did you hear about
that?
Yeah,
and this that's what's been going. And this that illegal alien that was the superintendent was registered to vote and things.
How in God's name does something like that happen? It happens because the Democrats are allowing it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that happens. They steal elections.
Or making it happen. Well, listen, I appreciate the call. I got a couple things I want to cover, but we'll talk soon. All right, take care. Now, one of the biggest stories of the last 24 hours, no one's talking about the Maryland man went. Remember the Maryland man? This is great. The immigration judge finally he's deported now for good. It's done. He's going to that prison in Africa. He's gotten his due process 10 to 20 times over. And he's done, and the media, you notice they're not covering the judge upholding the deportation of the Maryland man. I bet his wife's happy. She doesn't have to worry about getting beaten up anymore. I'd like to know where all that crowdfunding money she raised went. You think he took his MS-13 employers took it? I bet they took all that crowdfunding money from the wife. I bet you. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right. Good for you. All right. Appreciate the call. If you're new to the program, make sure you subscribe, guys. And if you're already subscribed, please like the program or like the video, I should say. And if you'd like to support my content, you can either become a member to the channel or become a Patreon supporter. If you become a Patreon supporter, you get access to commercial-free editions of all of my podcast episodes, okay? And if you want to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of the video. My name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you next time.